Hello, Internet. It is Tuesday, September 9th. This is the Park Bench, number 15. My name is CParks. Joined with me today,
Golden Rose K.
And today is a very special day. We'll talk about it at the end of the show. It's the Dreamcast's birthday in America. How have you been?
I've been good. I had a crazy weekend. I got to see MCR for free, and then I got to go 5 feet in front of Gerard Way for free, and that was crazy.
Wow.
Truly wild that happened at good old Fenway.
At good old Fenway Park.
My Chemical Romance, I should say.
Yeah.
I just say MCR. I think that everyone is an emo kid like I was, so I just say no. But My Chemical Romance, yeah.
There we go.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Good time.
Yeah.
And then football's back for you and I's micro enjoyment.
Yes, Sundays. Oh my God, I'm trying to fix my camera live on air. This is a great bit thing.
I'm a little jealous. Well, I was like waiting to get into the show. You were like, I'm watching football and Melee.
Yeah.
Like, dang, that doesn't sound fun.
Yeah, Sundays are so back now because now I get every once in a while I get my Sunday top 8 Melee Ultimate Major alongside some football, so that's cool. Yeah, I don't know, it feels good for my ADHD like brain to just like I had the Patriots game next to NFL Red Zone, next to Melee top 8 at Riptide.
It really throws us back to the Sundays where we would have the NFL game on one TV, Melee slash Smash tournament on one other TV, and then we were playing Smash on the other TV.
Yeah. Yeah.
Content Sundays.
Full on just content everywhere. I think my camera's a little blurry, so I'm just gonna fix that real quick. So I'm gonna disappear. But yeah, that was a lot of those were good times. It is exactly what like it brought me back to. The only thing I wasn't doing was playing Smash.
Because it's dead, dead game.
Well, okay, so actually, I have been playing Smash Bros. Ultimate a little bit recently. Like, if there's a game that's like not in my normal rotation of just like group play of Peak or Fortnite with people, I've been playing Ultimate a little bit online, mostly as Bowser Jr.
Oh, you're like friend of the show, Alex. No.
You know what? Listen, I liked Bowser Jr. in 4.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, also, not to brag, but been winning a lot of wins.
Ooh. It's character matchup stuff, people don't know the matchup.
Yeah. Also, another factor that plays into this is my Bowser Jr. is not in Elite Smash. But that's okay, because I'm super, super, super rusty. I mentioned this, Dinnermancer was streaming a little bit of Ultimate recently. And I mentioned it in their stream where I'm high enough to like
all the time, just no.
I have a high enough like rank in Ultimate where like I play against people who like understand tech and like the scene. And every once in a while, I get matched up with people who are trying to waveland on every platform every time. Like every time their character crosses through a platform, they waveland on it. And of the like 3 or 4 people that I've come across that have done that, I have not lost them.
You're just like, I'm gonna keep abusing you failing to do this.
Yeah. No, exactly. It's 100% what it is. It's just like I don't know why you keep trying to do that. I keep hitting you because you just keep doing it. But yeah. Although on your point of a dead game, I think top 8 of, or like top 6 or something of Riptide, maybe it was top 8. There was like a Min, a Snake, 2 Steves, a Sonic. It was, yeah, I think it was top 6. It was like Steve's, Snake, Sonic, and Min. And it's just like, God dang it.
And it sucks with a game with, like, in theory, so much parity, and in theory, so much like character diversity, where it's like, yeah, there are a lot of characters that get played and do really well. Unfortunately,
yeah,
top 8,
the top of the top, those players have gravitated to characters that are not as fun to watch.
Not as fun to watch, and yeah, and like a lot of people would argue, being like, I mean, Steve specifically is like, it's less lower skill, higher reward. That feels bad. I don't like saying stuff like that. These people are really good at playing the video game.
They're very, very good at playing the video game, yeah. Because the character is weird. A lot of
people in like is very weird, and there are some like things they have to do that are very like difficult to implement, and some stuff that's not. Most stuff that's not. So like, yeah, these people are skilled. That being said, Snake's kind of like re-entry to being cool and being popular is a little fun, but I just love it when grenades are flying over the screen because my brain goes, ooh, explosions.
Yeah, I actually, with playing again, Snake was always a character that I have absolutely hated to play against. Since what was it, Brawl, right? Always hated Snake. And then I played a couple Snakes this last week online. And it wasn't as painful as playing against a Steve who knows what they're doing. Some Steves are like very clearly just like, I know how to play Smash Brothers and I'm playing Steve because they're good, but I don't know how to play as Steve, it's almost they almost play like honest, I guess I would say. But that's fine. But yeah, when you get a Steve who's like abusive to how Steve can play, then it's like, I'm so annoyed. And also the things you hit me with should not kill me and combo for as long as they should. Yeah. So yeah, I played Smash. I don't know. Did you play anything else?
Yeah. I mean, I played what I'm talking about in the show. I played Silksong. So I'll talk about that when we get there.
Okay.
Anything other than Silksong? And thinking about the days before Silksong. What did I do Wednesday? It's really just Wednesday, right? Because we had the show on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. I feel like I didn't do much other than, watch movies and whatnot and do other things that one does in life other than play video games.
It's mostly all I do if I can.
Yeah.
With free time.
Yeah.
I don't go out.
But then Silksong, my little teaser for it is that, I'm 23 hours into it, even with the concert on Saturday and Sunday, and not being here the entirety of Sunday. So.
Yeah. Cool.
I said it last week. I want to kind of slow play it, and I've been kind of slow playing it.
I think that's a nice way to play that game. Lucid's in Act 2. Are you in Act 2?
Yep.
Yeah, Act 2. Okay, how many acts do we know?
2.
Oh, okay. Cool. First half, second half. Got it. 3?
There's 3, never mind. I've lied to Lucid and to you and to everyone.
The whole world. Anyways, the topics today that we're gonna get into. We'll start off. It's almost like a monthly thing. Potentially a Nintendo Direct this week. Nintendo's not kind enough to let us know before this show if there's gonna be one this week, but the rumors have said this week. Multiple rumors from multiple like fairly reliable like leakers, I guess, on like this type of information.
What I do like about summer to like, I guess like December, and it will slow down for a couple months, is that like there's just like we got a Nintendo Direct supposedly this week, and then like TGS is in like 2 weeks.
Yep.
One of these weeks is supposed to have a state of play. So I'm just like, there's preem content for us to fall back on.
Yeah, it's almost like this period of time is when all these companies start getting out there and pushing all their cool announcements for winter. So for like November to like March, you know.
Their fiscal calendar year.
So
quarter 4.
So it's fun right now. We got all the announcements, and then we get all the games. And then like a break. After that, you'll talk mostly about your time with Silksong. Halfway through, you say?
Yeah. Feel free to ask any questions. Anyone, anywhere.
I am going to talk about a game I've played a little bit. My wife has played much more than me, but it's this game called Whisper of the House, which I found interesting and have some like kind of weird news about it from the demo. We'll talk about challenge runs, you know, stuff like like you've got here, like, you know, Nuzlocke and Ironmon, pacifist runs, randomizers, no-hit runs, stuff like that. Discuss quickly what types of likes or clones we want to see.
My favorite topic is talking about
likes Vania's clones. No, for sure. But I think there are some games that haven't been like, nobody's tried to copy them really. And then lastly, Dreamcast 26th birthday. We'll reminisce about Dreamcast. I watched a history video today, which I put in our docket here. Learned some stuff, so that was cool. Anyways, let's get into it. The first topic is the Direct. Possibly this week. I don't know. We had seen.
Yeah, supposedly it said latter part of this week, the 11th, 12th, right? Something like that.
Yes. I saw there was a leaker that goes by, I think it's Switch Force, which first reported the potential Direct on either the 11th or 12th. And then a more, or I don't know if they're more notable, but another account, Nate the Hate, basically confirmed it, saying like, yes, there's one in September, and then also said that second week of the month in the latter half on around the 11th or 12th, as you can see here on the screen. So yeah, from what I could tell, I think it was Kit from that podcast Streamer brain.
This is the former Nintendo. Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
I can't remember Kit's full name either right now, so like I'm completely blanking. I'm glad I got Kit out. Dang it, I have to remember her name. I feel
okay, I'll just get it.
Hold on. Kit and Krista? Right? Is that what it is? Kit and Krista. Yeah, Kit and Krista. I got there before I found it. I saw a video from Kit, who he was basically kind of confirming in my eyes that like Nate the Hate is like has been correct, like enough to like take this and like believe that this could be true. So again, it's like monthly that we get to do this, but assuming this is a partner showcase, what do you, I guess first, what do you think needs to be there?
Yeah, I mean, so the obviously, and we wrote it down in the doc, and it's the most obvious thing that needs to happen is that Prime 4 needs a release date.
Yeah,
the game, you know, it's been playable. People have played it. It's been announced, and like that's, I mean, the running bit of Prime 4 has been announced forever, but it's been re-announced to just be like, hey, it's coming out. And you and I have talked a lot about how like Nintendo has been kind of slotting in, you know, they always do this, like a game a month. But that's like they're like, this is the one that we want you to come back to the Switch 2 for, or Switch for. And it's like, where is Prime? Where does Prime fit with the rest of the year? And so that has to be the number one thing, is we have to get a release date for Prime 4.
And then to build on that, in similar fashion, is I think we need a date for Hyrule Warriors. Not as big or anticipated or as much story as Metroid. But it's one of the games that they've tried to bill as like one of their big games for the winter. We just don't know when in the winter. We just know it's winter.
And like considering that like Nintendo, I don't think really has a September game that I can think of off the top of my head. I could fail this and just be forgetting something. But Hyrule Warriors, I feel like something you could announce in the next couple days and be like, hey, it's coming out at the end of September.
I agree.
I don't think Metroid, I think you want more of a turnaround for. I don't think you want more time for the marketing hype. That being said, that British subway train
set out now
thing that was like set out now, so like maybe it is something that they are planning to more shadow drop, which would be crazy, but I won't put it past them.
It's interesting, like the thought of shadow dropping something so big, because like a lot of times now when you get those shadow drops, they're either like remakes or just like smaller indie games. They're smaller projects basically. And Silksong had a quick, you know, if we're comparing this to Silksong, because it's similar, where they like were announced and disappeared forever and then came back. Silksong showed up, said we're releasing in 2 weeks. Metroid, I think it's weird. I don't know why my brain thinks this, but I think you either need to do a shadow drop of like later today or tomorrow, or like a month plus out.
Yeah.
Because I think, I personally think it works better as a news hype if you do it right away, or you build that like that momentum throughout a month or whatever. But if
I think I think it also, like, I get like a little nervous in like with how Nintendo treats Metroid to begin with, right? And they're like, it's kind of the one they're like, we'll do this for you sickos, because it sells like well enough, but it's nowhere near the sales numbers of like any of the other like major Nintendo franchises. So like I don't know how much marketing they're gonna spend. Like that's the whole thing. Is like, do you you drag it out farther and spend way more on marketing, or do you just go like you just try to get the hype and just try to get the word of mouth of it?
Yeah. Also, I just thought maybe this will be a topic I put down for another week to discuss, but I think Nintendo is probably the only company with they have multiple, but even just one game that you are excited about a 2D or 3D game.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because we had Metroid Dread. That is super cool. And now we're getting the 3D Metroid. You have the Zelda games. You have like the 2D top-down Zelda games, or like the Breath of the Wild, stuff like that. Mario, you get the 3D Marios and the 2D Marios that are like always back and forth. But like, I don't know any company off the top of my head that has any other games where it's just like you could be excited for multiple versions of this.
Yeah. I don't know if you saw that quote from,
I think
who was it? But like basically like it was on it was going around like the Nintendo news and stuff like that. And
about
it was
like
basically how we're like, we don't need to create new IPs anymore. Like we can just like find a genre or find a gameplay style and we can just slot one of our characters into it.
Yeah.
I
did see that.
Fascinating.
I think it's it's another like thing that like potentially is just like in this day and age super unique to Nintendo, where like Nintendo's popularity are its historic IPs. And so their quote was basically just like, why do I, if we're making a game, I don't need to make a new character for it. I have characters. I can just put them in it. Because, you know, you see it even just like with Mario, with the 3D Mario games. Like almost every new 3D Mario that comes out, they find a new way to play, you know? So, and you know, you have it on here, Pokemon spinoff. Pokemon is another franchise where like I don't think it's been utilized too much.
Not nearly enough.
No, not nearly enough, not well enough. It's kind of picking up steam, just not with the types of games that I want. But they have like the Legends games are like, they're spin-offs, but they're not
they're not like completely apart from like the mechanics and kind of like the flow of Pokemon proper, right?
Yeah. And ZA sounds like it will be a little bit more separate because it's more like real-time combat. But like we don't get like the Mystery Dungeon or the Rangers anymore, or the Pokemon Pinball. But we get like, what is it, Pokemon Cafe? Yeah, that could be fun on Switch, right?
You know, and you're gonna have your Rangers, and you're gonna have your mouse control.
Yeah, drawn circles.
I hate this. So this animation, I called my own body movements an animation.
Yeah.
This animation is not fun to do for very long.
It's too many frames.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To have to spin a mouse around. I think we can keep Ranger in the past.
Or refigure it in some way.
But like it is interesting, like how like that like philosophy for Nintendo has kind of like prevailed, especially when it hasn't, because like I don't know how much you know, like Splatoon originally was supposed to be like a Mario shooter, and then they came up with the mechanic of like going into the ink, or like going in like under, because like Sunshine, you know, it's like similarities here, and then they're like, oh, you can go under, and then they're like, you know what, this makes less sense for Mario, let's turn them into squids. So like it is fun that they are like good that they're able to adapt and not rigid and like this has to be Mario.
Yeah. So that's with Nintendo, I think what I'm building to is it's one of the things that makes directs for them so fun and exciting is we can see a brand new game and get super excited about it because it is a Nintendo IP. Like if we got what if like in this direct we get a new Donkey Konga, or like
I'd pop off. You wouldn't see me ever again. I'm hitting my bongos.
Or like something similar to that, like where it's just like just a completely different type of game, but it has a Nintendo character. Like that's exciting. And then in turn with that, because Nintendo uses their IPs for such a variety of games, getting a new IP is like extra exciting.
Although like last like true new one, right, is like ARMS, and
yeah,
there are ARMS defenders out there.
There are ARMS defenders. And I don't think I really I feel bad saying this, but I don't think of Drag X Drive, whatever, as like that same kind of like new IP, because there's no characters in it. Like I don't, like I didn't, that game didn't release and I didn't learn who anyone was in that game, it's just players.
Yeah, there's no Nintendo whimsy, right?
Yeah. So what would you like to see in this now?
Like obviously shoot the moon kind of stuff is that like I'm still dying to know what the heck the next Mario is going to be. That's not going to happen. We're not getting that. But I'll give me any of the like. Actually, one of the things. Okay, here we go. One of the things I almost suggested as a topic, but then I was like, I can just like briefly bring it up here. Is that I think Nintendo would be goddamn fools to not try to get another Animal Crossing out like as fast as possible. Animal Crossing, even considering that like it got the huge pandemic month, sold billions.
Yeah.
And one of the things I was like, where do you go now? We've been a mayor, we've been on an island, we've been in the woods, like what? And so like I was gonna be like, hey, where do you think next Animal Crossing should take place? So maybe we'll actually have that conversation later. But Animal Crossing, I think they just gotta. It's like that Pokemon and Mario would be what I argue is like, I guess Smash, but like that's also probably not gonna happen. What could happen? It's so hard with Nintendo because my brain is also like F-Zero, but that's not happening. They don't care about it anymore.
I do like Lucid's point. I think I've said it a couple of times now from Nintendo stuff, but seeing the FromSoft vampire game thingy, the man, what is that weird game called? Not Bloodborne?
Not Bloodborne.
Duskbloods.
Duskbloods.
The Duskbloods.
Actually,
it's not crazy hot on my list of things that I would want to see, but I would like to see that there.
It is scheduled for 2026, so it's not like imperative that it's here. Like I'm not going to freak out if it's not here.
I agree. Yeah.
I
just want to see it.
But yeah, I agree. Man, my brain is Rolodexing IPs right now. Do we have anything about next Splatoon other than the fact that we just keep adding the single player kind of one, right?
Yeah, there's a Splatoon spin-off happening, so that could show up. We know something about that at least. We could get that Splatoon like single player experience.
Splatoon Raiders.
Yeah, I don't even know if it's single player. Is it single player? For some reason,
I think I just want it to be single player.
Yeah.
Man, Splatoon has the best music in modern Nintendo. Anyway,
it's pretty good.
Thinking about cracking up real quick.
Mm.
But yeah, so I think like if we're talking big first party things, you gotta do something like that. We have the rumor that there's gonna be a Pokemon spinoff.
Yep.
Which is neat. I would kill for it to be something closer to Pokemon Conquest, but it's probably gonna be something closer to like. Actually, I would also kill for it to be Mystery Dungeon.
That's
give me the Mystery Dungeon.
I have played of a very, very minimal amount of Mystery Dungeon. But from like the spin-offs that I could think of for Pokemon that I would want to see, I think Mystery Dungeon is like the most interesting one to me. And I also think I think it's like highly requested. So like it would generate hype for sure if we got like a new Pokemon Mystery Dungeon.
Let's see. I want to find out how much the last Mystery Dungeon sold.
Ooh, like how many copies?
Yeah, if we can find that out real quick. And while I'm doing this, I also wanted to point out that I want to do some other mystery solving.
Other mystery solving. Okay. Well, while you do that, the other game that you brought up, the Pokemon Conquest. It's a game I think about every now and then, because it's a wild combination of Pokemon and Nobunaga. But
and it plays like a Fire Emblem instead of playing like a Nobunaga game or
Pokemon. Yeah. So like I think like Pokemon Tactics, like this is what drew me into Pokemon Conquest to begin with. I didn't care about the Nobunaga. The Nobunaga was the part that I was just like, that's the weirdest possible crossover. But the gameplay of just like Pokemon in like a tactics game, like just feels so well suited to me with like a lot of times tactics games have dozens and dozens of characters that you can use. Pokemon has 1,000. And then also just like move types with like, you know, I guess just like the way that like a character would use Hydro Pump versus a Whirlpool. Like I can just think of so many like,
yeah, you can see this like the square, like, yeah,
exactly. Yeah. So I think it just fits so well. So like, if there was some sort of Pokemon Tactics game, I think that would be cool. But again, I think Mystery Dungeon is the one that generates the most hype. Unless it's something completely brand new that we just haven't thought of.
All right, here's what I got for you. Mystery Dungeon in 2022, they said it sold 2 million copies, basically.
Okay.
It's been longer than that. It's probably a little bit higher than that. I think that's still good enough to make another game, depending on like, you know, production costs. 2 million is great. Most companies are happy with 2 million.
Yeah.
Second thing is you and I have talked about it, and I love talking about it. I think it's one of my favorite little things is Nintendo's relationship with Bandai Namco. Pokken 2.
It came to mind. I think it needs, so like I guess my thought with Pokken is I don't think the gameplay hook is quite there. There's something that was off about it that didn't capture people in like the FGC. So I guess the reason I didn't bring up Pokken is because I think if Nintendo made another Pokemon fighting game, maybe it's just not Pokken. Maybe it's like, you know, like, what is that game called? I got those two, don't worry.
Yeah, I know. I was gonna be like, hey, no one cared about Pokemon. Look at all these emotes I have for some reason.
Twitch does have a lot of Pokemon emotes. Pokemon's cool. Don't get me wrong. I do think Pokemon's cool. But like, what is that? Close Combat, that indie fan game. Not indie, it's a fan game. Close Combat, the like hand-drawn Pokemon 2D fighter.
Oh yeah.
If they made like or even like, if they made, what if they made like a Marvel, but it's Pokemon, like a tag fighting game with 3 Pokemon or something, you know? Or even if they did the same thing, kind of as Pokemon, where if it is just like the one Pokemon, but you have the assists.
You ready for this? You ready for this?
I'm so ready.
Harada back in 2021, he's like, yo, I would like to make another Pokemon game. It was fun. Harada also recently said, he's like, I don't think we're in the reality where I could make like a Tekken tag tournament nowadays. Like, he's like, I would just add a tag mode to Tekken. Pokken tag. He makes a tag. He makes Tekken tag, but he makes a Pokemon.
Listen, I think when Harada says anything,
his mouth.
You have to pay attention. And everything he says is like pointing at something. It could be pointing away. He could be a misdirect, but he means something with it. He's crazy. That would be cool. I think that would be super cool if there was like a Pokemon tag fighter game. They probably would come out with a controller as well. They did with Pokemon. They came out with that like fight pad, you know. So yeah, I could see them coming out with something, or someone like some third party, like, you know, Nintendo certified fight stick. Could be cool. Although I think if a Pokemon fighting game, or, you know, a fighting game, I'll say, on the Switch was to come out, I would hope that it's compatible with like people's current gamepads.
For sure.
Because, and you know what, there's a good chance it wouldn't, because it's Nintendo. But with everything increasing in price and accessories just getting like more and more expensive, a Nintendo fight stick, like as entry into Switch 2 fighting games, just, it sounds too expensive right now.
Yeah. That makes sense. Good point.
Yeah, so I would hope that there was some sort of compatibility that the Switch 2 has with other fight sticks.
Lastly, I mean, about the Pokemon thing, or not, I guess not lastly, but something I wanted to bring up earlier and forgot about was that the reason why Pokemon Conquest is so weird is that they originally just pitched it as Fire Emblem Pokemon crossover, which is why it's a tactics game.
Sure.
And then like somewhere during the development, they're like, hey, let's just use let's partner with like Koei Tecmo, I think it was, and like let's make them Nobunaga characters. And I'm like, okay. But that was gonna lead me into we gotta finally see this Fire Emblem remake that's been apparently done for years.
True.
It has to happen eventually. I'm gonna say it every god darn Nintendo Direct.
Yeah. That should be a thing that probably shows up at some point soon. Yeah, another thing, everyone knows about it, but we've never seen anything for it.
Gosh darn, it's the only reason why I have the words combined together that is Fire Emblem Genealogy of the Holy War ever in my brain. It's because I'm like, direct?
video games put some real dumb shit in our heads, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And you're never going to forget that for some reason.
Nope.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it could be anything. I mean, I think that's there. I have it on the doc. I put that there are hints and rumors that there's something Soul Calibur going to be announced. So there hasn't been a new Soul Calibur in like 7 years or something like that.
Yeah, and they did put Soul Calibur on the GameCube thing.
So we could get new Soul Calibur.
Yep.
And if it's a new Soul Calibur, it's probably not Pokken unless Bandai Namco is gonna just devour itself.
Yeah. Soul Pokemon.
Yeah. It's Pokemon fighting game, but they have clothing degradation. You're playing as Braixen or whatever that fox is, and you're like, all right, I'm done this thought. We're gonna stop that thought here.
Gross. Yeah. So anyway, Nintendo Direct. We're gonna find out like tomorrow, unfortunately. Unless, you know what? Let me just check real quick right now. It's a weird time for Nintendo. It's a weird time.
While you're looking, I'm gonna pitch that Pokemon should make a gosh darn Warriors game, a Musou game. I've been thinking about this for years, how easy it would be to just take a Pokemon and make it a Musou game, and you can make the enemies like Zubats and stuff. I think it would be really. I don't know how good it would be.
A lot of Rattatas and
like the soldiers that are. You give Rattata. Have you ever thought about it? You give Rattata like little armor. It'd be really adorable. It'd be like the cutest Pokemon, I think.
I think. Like, what did we get? We got
You got the Meow.
No. There was something we got. I think it was like an animation. We got a short, and I think it was Bidoof.
Oh yeah.
And like something like that came out, and I think like my sister-in-law was like, "Holy crap, I love Bidoof. It's so cute. I love it." And like you can give that treatment to a Bidoof or the Rattata, or they should make. I'm gonna say that now. They should make like a Route 1 Pokemon hero story, you know?
Ooh, all right, yeah.
You get the Rattata or the Pidgey, the Patrat, the Pidove, you know, that sort of Route 1 Pokemon, and give it its own like
Wingull.
I don't know if Wingull's Route 1, but like, yeah, you know.
What the? Okay, Gen 3. All right, let's figure this out. You can't just Google Gen 3 Route 1. You have to add Pokemon. Let me tell you about that.
But yeah, I just think
oh wait, I fret I can't go to Malapedia right now because it's all about Malamar. We should add that to the docket. That's the best story.
Did anything ever come about that, actually? Now I think about it.
No, not yet.
Maybe that's the spin-off.
It'll be announced in the Direct. Yeah.
It's a Malamar spin-off game. You have to play your Switch upside down.
That's a layup for the show.
You hold the controllers upside down. Yeah. All right.
Let's see. Wingull. Because Talow's also in this gen, but it also Wingull's right after it, so like they might. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. So yeah, look forward to a Nintendo Direct maybe at the end of the week. Isn't Upside Down the same? No, it's not the same. Because then you have like the triggers are on the bottom. It would be different. It'd be weird. I'm thinking now you have me thinking though, like how different would it really be? I'm not gonna go grab my Switch 2, but yeah, there's something different about it. But maybe that's part of the appeal. Is it's not too wildly different. All right, hold it upside down. How's it feel? Or you're gonna just put the controls in the wrong way.
Yeah, you can just like obviously like the big difference is obviously there's a logo here, right?
Yeah.
And then there's the very nice stand that I'll probably never use.
I don't know. Do some weird
yeah,
stuff.
I mean, it feels a little weird, but it's fine.
Yeah.
We're gonna have a new gimmick for Megala Malamar.
Yeah. Hope so. I have to. Anyway, moving on. Silksong.
Yep.
You've been playing Silksong.
Silksong.
How do you like it? Tell me about it.
Yeah, I think that there's no fucking shot this game isn't in the like number 1 or number 2 of the Game of the Year contention. I think it's in the top 5 without a doubt, and then it's just I think there's a little bit of personal preference going in there after that. I think halfway through is pretty much a masterclass. I think that I have there's a lot of scuttlebutt on the internet. A lot of people talk like difficult, like is it too hard? I mean, like I have a hard time dealing with like the difficulty in video games because I'm just stubborn. I don't like a game isn't necessarily hard if I can just like try again, right? Like a game is hard on the NES because I have 3 lives, and if I start back at the very beginning of the video game like that. There's something in my brain that's like the run back of starting Mario Lost Levels at 1-1 is way different than just like dying 3-minute walk away from the boss. But regardless of that, it's very, very good. I love the vibe. I love the aesthetic. I love the enemies. I love the cute little guys that you're beating up and the ones that you become friends with. It is sick as all hell. I did see they patched the first 2 of the early bosses to be weaker.
Oh.
Let me tell you, one of the ones that they nerfed, I beat in 1 try. The other one, this is my time to brag. And the other one that they nerfed took me like 3 tries. So
okay, yeah, something actually, I didn't.
They nerfed Morwing Lucid, which is the guy at the end of like the in Gloom, like where all the birds are, and then they nerfed Second Savage Sister, the one that attacks you like it goes down a bunch like this.
Lucid in chat did say something earlier that I didn't quite piece together. Where like I had all the pieces, but I never like connected them. Where like there was the news story that came out where like people have put a mod out where bosses don't do as much damage, basically make it easier for you, which like I don't know why people are like as upset as they are about that, because like it's not affecting your experience with the game at all.
It's like it's some of the nerfs are a little bit. I'm stealing a bit from Dan Reichert this morning where he's just like, I beat those bosses so easily. I feel like someone's paid off their student loans and is mad that people want to get them paid off for free. God damn it. He's like, I feel just like them, and everybody was like, whoa, Dan.
Yeah. But yeah, so the other piece of that puzzle is that Silksong was originally DLC. And so I do wonder if that plays into why this is harder, is because when they had first started designing it, it was building off of the end of a video game already. So I think that's interesting. I also think I think I'm into the prospect of that added difficulty anyway.
Yeah, I think it is interesting because like a lot of people are going to be like, they're going to just jump into Silksong without playing Hollow Knight because of the hype, right? Because of like the gosh darn like noise around Silksong has blown up out of proportion. But they're gonna have definitely a harder time because they don't know the language of Hollow Knight, and there's still like there is a different language here. There is like a little bit different like kind of mechanic of how you heal and how like Hornet moves compared to the Knight. Dinner, I think that's a great call, by the way. Just like I would, people on the internet are like, should I play Hollow Knight first? I'm like, yeah, just do it. But at the same time, like, do whatever your pocket tells you need to do, like your money.
True.
Because like because this is on Game Pass, I'm not playing it there. Don't have Game Pass currently, but like if that's like your thing, and you're like, oh, I can't afford to play a game, should I play Silksong? I'm going to say, yeah, play this game. It rules. But I would play Hollow Knight first. I jumped off your point and went somewhere different, Chris. Where were you going?
I don't know. What did I talk about? The difficulty and the DLC of it?
DLC. Oh yeah. Like, yeah. So like the thing is like, yeah, Hornet moves differently. The healing mechanic is a little differently, but at the same time, it's still a difficult Metroidvania. It is a game that for little to no reason, most bosses and most enemies take 2 hits off of your health bar, which is a little silly. I think you could easily have it be 1 and have it still be as hard. And that the economy, like the most valid complaint I've seen of this video game is that the early game economy with like the rosary beads, like the souls, is a little crazy. It's like pretty expensive to like do anything.
One of the aspects that I remember from the first game is the sort of like not quite collectathon, but like the collectibles that you get, like going out and finding you know, a myriad of different types of not even just upgrades, but like what was it? There was like, wasn't it like babies or something?
Yeah, it might even like the little worm guys.
Yeah. Is there?
You find fleas now?
Nah, that's what I was gonna ask. Okay, now you're looking for fleas. How does that shape your how has that shaped your experience with the game so far? Like, how interactive are you with that sort of like collection?
I mean, like it's definitely like if I run into you. I mean, okay, actually, how I play any Metroidvania is that the moment I gain any new movement tech, I'm gonna go back to as far back as I can and start like going through the areas again, because my brain is like checklist. I'm like, all right, gotta go back to the first area now that I can do this and see if I can open this door or if I can go a little farther. So I just naturally kind of like go around and I find like the fleas, and if I see a flea and like it's a little more difficult to like save him, I'll just that'll be my job for however long it is to figure out how to get him free. Just because that's like, if the map doesn't allow you to custom mark anything, and you have to like pretty much buy anything to do with the map. You have to buy, like, another complaint is that like you kind of waste a slot of your equipment to be the compass, so you know where you are on the map.
Okay.
Which is fine, but at the same time, like, I wish I could do anything else with that slot. So like there are times like my brain is just like, if I leave this flea and don't get free him now, I'm gonna forget. I'm gonna have to write a note somewhere that I'm gonna forget to check. Like, it's gonna be a little bit more like annoying, and that this happens a lot with one of the things I'm surprised the game does is that you can just hit pause at any time, or like the menu, and you can see your quest. And you can like look at the quests that you have, and that will tell you kind of like, it'll be like, hey, like this one person you talk to wants you to get 3 like of these like flowers, or 7 flower, like basically, right? And I feel like Hollow Knight 1 did, and a lot of Metroidvanias more are like, they're just gonna not tell you that like you have a side quest. So any side quest in here, it does like store. But once I beat the side quest, and as I deliver the 7 flowers or whatever to this character, they go, hey, if you find any more, come back, and I'll get you like, and I'll help you out, or like I'll give you something extra. The moment that happens, I leave that person's domain, I have no idea where that person is anymore. I stare at my map and I look at like what looks like little houses and I go, maybe they're there.
Okay.
So it is a little obtuse, I think, in that. And Lucid, like, send a mark on your map. It's just not remembering to do that ever.
Sounds
like what's the marker I put down even mean?
Sounds like a you problem.
That is a me problem.
Man, I'm watching this gameplay that I have on stream.
Yeah.
And it's just so beautifully cute and gloomy at the same time.
Yeah, it's
very nice.
What you're not hearing from the game is that how many characters sing to themselves.
Oh yeah. I've seen a little bit of that.
Adorable.
Yeah, I have seen some of that where like, yeah, you're just passing by somebody and they're just kind of like humming tunes to themselves. So yeah, so all right, so you're in Act 2, latter second half of the game. If you can remember Hollow Knight,
okay, do my best.
What
I was on Twitch? It was 2021, maybe.
Oh damn! Really? I was just gonna say, how does your? I mean, it's tough because like maybe you have to separate yourself from Hollow Knight, but like, how are you? How does it feel in comparison? Like, the story, I should say, like halfway through Hollow Knight compared to like halfway through this game.
That's so interesting. Okay. Yeah. I care more about Hornet and Hornet's plot, partially because I understand a little bit about Hornet because of Hollow Knight, right?
Okay.
Where you play Hollow Knight and you're a blank slate kind of little guy and you're going through his narrative. And like, I get invested. I think the world is beautiful and like it does a lot of like the kind of like little hints about like it being way darker than it is and whatnot. And I like it. But like with Hornet, it's just like I know who this character is, I know how cool she is, and then seeing her be like this weakened bug to like slowly getting stronger and stronger in this area and getting moves that like you see Hornet use against you. I'm like, that's really cool. That fills me with a lot of glee. And then this game also, I think, is just like more attuned to like my senses of like what I like out of a narrative. There's a lot of people dealing with like with like religion kind of and like how it hasn't helped them. And then in Act 2, just really there's just a lot of characters that hint on that they're being, not even hint, but they're like, hey, we're being exploited for our labor. And we need to keep working till we die, but like we don't know any other way against that, and that's way more interesting. Like obviously, like big, save the proletariat, and that's like really neat to me. Whereas like with Hollow Knight, it was more like of a mystery kind of.
Okay.
Yeah, that one dude. There's one guy in the game who just says, "You keep saying, don't talk to me, slave."
Oh God. Yeah, because my recollection of Hollow Knight is I jumped in pretty blind. Like I had heard that it's a good game, and I was like, it looks cool, so I'll try it. And I didn't know anything at all. And then as the story was progressing, it was still like for me like pieced together so slowly. You had kind of said where it was just like as you're playing, you kind of like start piecing together like, oh, things are maybe a little more dark and grim than maybe it's actually led on to start. And so knowing that heading into this, one of the things I did say I liked about the idea of this game was, I think we mentioned it last week maybe, is like the comparison of the knight, just being a guy. It's just a little dude. Like when you start that game, you're just like, oh, I'm just a little guy. just going on my adventure. Where in this, after playing Hollow Knight, you're like, ah, yes, now I'm playing as a badass.
For sure, and Hornet's a badass.
Yeah. So
and every upgrade I get, I start to feel like, this is like how cool she was, like when she kicked my ass several times or whatever.
So now, like, it sounds like it's almost like maybe a textbook where it's like they threw you into the world and let you slowly learn about it, and Hollow Knight, and learned, the darkness in it, and then and it also, like, the big bad, there was like, a big evil darkness in that, where now in this it almost sounds like the lore is more like local rather than like national, if that makes sense to you. Like,
yeah, like this whole the game opens up, you saw it in the little cutscene, is that Hornet was like captured, and then like she fell off like in that like old-timey cage kind of thing that she was in, and she's like, something about this place has made me feel like weak or whatever. So very classic, like, not Amnesia plot, but like the same thing like an Amnesia plot would do in an RPG sequel, of like why you're weaker. And then, like, as you go through the game, one of the things I really love about Hornet as a character, you learn about why Hornet matters and why she's supposed to be here during this time, when like all the pilgrims are being corrupted and all this stuff and what's going on. It's really cool.
Last question I have, which will probably, I'll touch back on it after you finish the game, because I think it's better at that point. But from what you've seen so far, how do you feel the replayability is?
I can only like, here with the type of video gamer that I am, like, I'm gonna try my darndest to 100% this, and if I don't, I might have to have a struggle with replayability. Just because this is a game where I feel like you can see everything on the first go around as long as you take the time to do that. So I wouldn't feel compelled as of right now to, like, say the Act 1 boss was the final boss, like, which is in that imaginary world. Yeah, I would struggle with wanting to come back to this, outside of the fact that there was one area I didn't fully explore because it's confusing to me, because it's a Lost Woods situation.
Oh, okay.
And that's one of the things I actually do love about this game, and maybe it is replayable. Like, I think if you didn't try to 100% it on your first try, this is an easy second playthrough. Like, now that you like understand the world, I think you could easily be like, I want to do everything, like, or like, I want to go back and do it everything. But I think if you are a masochist, or you're just slow playing it, like, I don't think you need to. But Chris, let me tell you about this goddamn The Mist.
The Mist.
The Mist, because in Act 1, I'm trying really hard not to spoil too much, because like there are going to be people who watch this who maybe haven't gotten as far as me or whatever, or as loose anyone. There's an area that is completely optional, I think, by Act 1 standards. You do not need to go anywhere near this area, and it's a gosh darn nightmare. You have to go through a thing called like the prisoners something, and it's like when they first like introduced the maggot poison mechanic, and it's like I lost 1,000 beads there, and that sucked a lot. And to put it in perspective, like, I had way too many beads on. I should never have had that many beads on me. Like, the most expensive thing I've seen in the game so far is like 800, and that's one item. Everything else is 200.
Yeah.
And you go from the poison area to another even harder poison area with the guerrilla warfare bugs. And then you get to the end of that, and then you're just in the mist, and there's not bugs here. There's gosh darn like wraiths.
Oh,
they're ghosts.
Huh.
And they don't fight you like other things tend to fight you. They don't have stun. You don't stun them when you hit them. And every time you enter the mist, the world, seemingly Lost Wood style, if I go up, yeah, see, I was in the mist before I beat the Citadel. Lucid, because Lucid tells me that I have a tool that I should be able to go through the mist now if I beat the Citadel. And I'm like, I was hanging out in the mist far before I got to the Citadel. But yeah, it was just like one of those things. I go up on the map, and then I'm all of a sudden I'm a different area completely. And but if I died and got out of the mist, maybe I start in that different area. It's one of those things where it's like I'm in Hypercube. Mm-hmm. I'm in Cube 2 Hypercubed. Having a blast though.
Cool. Yeah, this is a game that I have no doubt that I will get to at some point this like fall, or like in the next like month or 2 months or whatever. Like I'm not in any crazy rush, but yeah, I don't know. It's my kind of game. If I could play this on my Steam Deck, this is like a great Steam Deck game for me, I think. But
yeah. I heard earlier today that Snowbike Mike was playing this specifically on his Steam Deck.
Okay. Yeah.
So I believe it is possible.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I mean, the hardest boss for me was the Widower. The Widow. Not the Widower, the Widow. Can you be a widower?
Yeah.
You're dead at that point?
No, I'm interpreting somebody who is a widower is somebody who is making people widows.
Oh, you're so right. Anyway, the Widow. I played at the end of my like binge play, like on Thursday. Actually, I want to talk about this too, because this was like truly one of my favorite parts. Was that on Thursday it came out. I got it on Humble Bundle before they ran out of code, so I could play it on Steam because Steam wasn't working. And I launched it up, and I got it working, and I put on one of my favorite streamers who was doing a marathon stream that day, and I was always slightly ahead of him, and I got to watch him play it, and I watched the community in the chat talk about playing it and where they were, and there was a very like it felt very like everyone was doing this at the same time.
Yeah.
And it was like really fulfilling to like my soul to feel like a part of that. And then by the end of that day is when I met the Widow for the first time. It was like 12 hours or something. I played that game for so long on Thursday. And I fought the Widow and I died. I spent like 45 minutes on the Widow. I just kept dying. I kept being like, this gal is hurting me a lot. And then the next day I had to go refarm my shards so my tools could work again. Because like you're like L1 up and L1 down have a finite resource that you have to like every time you die it takes away from your shards and you have to go collect shards. So like I did that, and I'm like, all right, time to fight the Widow again. And then the second day I two-tried her, as is like I feel like most Souls experience in my life is rage, get stuck on something, come back with a clear head. Beat her, but I yelled so much into the ether alone in my room how fucking excited I was for beating the Widow. That boss was nonsense. It was also funny because like there are other couple interesting things that like was fun to like parse through with the community. No one on that first day like was like, I don't know where a weapon upgrade is. We've been playing for 9 hours. I have not seen a weapon upgrade. I haven't seen a health upgrade. So it is very interesting to see like what this game kind of gates and like how long it takes to upgrade certain stuff. But yeah, Act 1 boss. All I'm saying, only took me 4 tries. I got that lady down.
Pro gamer.
I'm just stubborn. Is really all it is. I'm just stubborn.
This kind of ties into a topic later. and goes along with what I had asked last about its replayability. And we can make this quick, but would additional playthroughs of this benefit from some sort of challenge run? Like, can you foresee challenge runs already? Like, can you be like a no map run or no this skill run or only this? Does that?
Yeah, I think I would love to watch somebody get mad and attempt like a no-hit run.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's god darn impossible, but I also think no-hit runs typically feel impossible to me, but like I don't think I could ever do it because I'm just not that good at video games. What other challenge runs? Maybe a speed run could be interesting. Because I know I think there, if I were to really 100% this, actually, now that you brought it up, I think there is an achievement for like beating the game under like 6 hours or something like that. Like there is a time gated one.
Yeah.
So that might be interesting to try to attempt. Although that is like my least favorite type of achievement. That's not my least favorite, but it's up there.
Yeah. It depends.
It's not like win 1,000 multiplayer matches.
Yeah, it depends for me because for example, in a game like Peak, a lot of Peak's achievements or like badges that you get are certain challenges that you have to put on yourself. And I like it a lot there because it's a game that you can beat in like an hour and a half, you know? And it changes daily. So like to have those challenges set up for you, I like a lot.
Yeah, that makes sense. Like just like again, if you should always be encouraging like alternative ways to play your game. I will say one of the knocks I have on the game, it doesn't mean I don't think it's a 10. I don't think I don't know if it will be a 10. I don't like putting numbers really anyway. By the end of the time, but like what I do think that like it's the same story we've talked about with anyone's ever talked about. There should be some accessibility options. That doesn't necessarily even mean make the game easier. It just means like you should just have certain options available.
Yeah.
Because the game is hard and the game will be hard. And then I always get a little sad because like if the game is so hard or so demanding, especially with some of the platforming, that like a sect of people just like won't be able to enjoy it. That just bums me out because like I want everyone to be able to enjoy everything.
Yeah.
And without extra options, I don't think everyone on the planet could beat this game, which bums me out. Trying to think. Yeah. All right. Anything else I got? Real quick. Oh yeah, I'm gonna fucking pop off for this run at goddamn GDQ in January. I can't wait. I'm excited to see that. So I got to beat the game by January, which I will. But
oh yeah, like the winter GDQ.
Yeah, regular GDQ.
Yeah. Not summer.
Yeah.
Just games.
Age. Well, technically it's AGDQ is
awesome.
Winter, and then
awesome
SGDQ.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, the big Silksong topic of the day completed.
Full of bugs though.
Yeah. People said that same joke with like.
No, I'm gonna keep saying that.
With like this game. With Fortnite, also Fortnite's like newest season is like a bug invasion, so like immediately people were like, it's just filled with bugs. Like I can't believe that they released this game with so many bugs. Next up, I played a game. It was kind of like introduced to me from my wife. My wife we got her set up on my computer like semi recently ish with like her own Steam account, basically her own desktop.
Yeah.
And so she, every once in a while spends some time just flipping through the Steam page when she's bored, looking for something free to try or cheap or whatever. And she came across this game, which is called Whisper of the House. And have you played Unpacking?
Yeah, I fucking love Unpacking.
So this game is similar to Unpacking, where like the main gameplay loop is you get set in a room, a house, whatever, and you organize it basically. And it's like, you know, this part of it where like in Unpacking, it's like aesthetically pleasing and feels nice just to like click things into the right spots, whatever. This game has a little bit of that. Unpacking has a storyline to it.
Queer.
Yeah.
Shout out to Unpacking.
This game also has a storyline to it.
Is it queer?
There might be parts of it. It's
all right. It's not a yes or a no.
It's mysterious and kind of spooky, is what I'd say. So, you know, you have the rooms that you're organizing, and I like the way this game works is like there's a whole town. You can walk around the town, and you'll slowly unlock new places to go and organize for people. And sometimes it's just like cleaning up and rearrange it. Sometimes you're like taking stuff out of boxes, because like people moved in to the house or whatever, and they want your help and for you to design it for them. But then, yeah, there's some creepiness going on with it where there's somebody who went missing, you know.
Okay. Mario's missing, as we know.
I think his name's like Elliot or something like that. I don't know. There's some dude, he's missing, and you know, nobody's seen him for years. And you like go and clean out his like workshop, and he's doing some like alchemical things, and like he's got all kinds of like potions and ingredients and portals and like all kinds of weird stuff going on there. And then there's like some ghostly stuff going on. One of the things that people pointed out from the demo. So I think that's where my wife maybe first saw it. She tried the demo and then played the full game. And in the demo, there is a room that you go and you clean up and pick up. Again, sometimes in the rooms, you're not necessarily just like organizing it. Like maybe you might be looking for something in it. So you're like cleaning it and organizing it to find that stuff or whatever. This room in the demo was completely optional. You might not run into it. And as I've said, there's been some kind of like spookier like things in this game. It doesn't really look spooky, but this room, the way it was set up, was basically implying that it was like a captive room, like some sort of person, potentially child, had been captured, had been abducted and placed in this room and forced to like dress up on camera and take pictures in different dresses and stuff like that. So I'm like, so that's a lot. I don't.
Yeah, no, it's like to have like that dark undertone, very almost like Life is Strange without the like the knowledge that there's like an emotional like darkness to it, I guess.
And from what I could tell from that demo and from like people's reactions to it, is it wasn't something the game was like actively telling you. It was just kind of like context clues where you're like, oh, what the hell? I don't think that that's in the demo anymore, and I don't know if it's in the full game or not. But as, just like a building off point of like the stuff in this game, there is things in it that are like a little off. Not over the top from what I can tell, like that. And it has like sort of a cutesy like pixel aesthetic to it.
Yeah. And it's part of a genre that I think that like most people would consider like a
cozy
down type of video. Cozy is like the word we'd all use. Yeah, like it's like a to have that undercurrent of darkness, I think is interesting, but maybe if it's so tonally dissident, maybe it's not the play. I don't know. I don't know.
I agree. I think that like, that those dark undertones are very interesting to have in this. That particular instance, maybe a little too much, maybe a little too far for this.
And that's like I think exactly the point though is that you can be a little spooky, right? You can do like the cozy spooky thing, the graveyard keeper and whatnot, and you can hint about like or the spirit fairer thing and like kind of deal with like death as like a part of life and kind of go through that kind of concept, but like have it to be something as like dark and disturbing as like and like more like less fantastical, more like horrifying real life thing, I think is maybe a step too far unless it's the point of your game.
Exactly.
But it doesn't seem like that it is. Yeah.
No, that's yes, exactly what I was going to say is like if that room in that instance didn't go so far past the rest of like what this game has, it probably wouldn't be an issue because then that that's what this game is. Like, you know what, that this game is going to show you some really like fucked up stuff. And like that's part of the creepiness where from what I've seen in this game, nothing comes close to that. There is stuff where it's like you said, like fantastical, and not like real world child abductions. But I don't think that's in the game anymore. And so, from the rest of the game, the way that
that's also so bizarre though, right? Because like you put it in your demo, so you spent time. And like, is this like a full team? Is this like?
It's a good question. I'm not sure how big this company or this team is that made this game actually, but I'd be interested to see if they're like what else is in here, that can maybe that like if anything else even approaches that. But yeah, from what I can tell, most of the game is like cozy spooky, I guess. It's just like so casually spooky. Like a lot of it too is just like although the way that it presents things that are like haunted. Like sometimes there are items that are haunted. But it's like the picture on the wall is a little haunted and it has a little glow to it or a little shimmer. And like you can click on it a bunch and it'll like now it's not haunted anymore. Very basic, simple, just like we're saying it's haunted because just like as another thing to check off, like, oh, I got rid of the haunt in the house. I found it and I got rid of it. Didn't need to, but I did. And so the way that this game has gone for us, she'll play a little bit and then every once in a while I'll like hop in and play. But typically for us, we can play like a couple levels, I'll say, before it gets to the point where it's just like almost like overwhelming, where it's just like I did 2 levels, I can't keep doing more, but I will get back to this, tomorrow. It does reach a point where it's just like, all right, I'm done. I've had enough for today. That was nice.
Yeah.
And put it down. But yeah, for anyone who has played unpacking or, you know, is into like cozy games, I guess this one was really interesting to me. Just it really feels like they took unpacking and expanded on it. I'll skip ahead in the video here a little bit. This is like I guess I'll explain in the video right now. This is your house. Mm-hmm. And as you play the game and you do the main storyline or optional quests or, you know, little secret things out in the open world, you will slowly unlock more items and different types of items to put into your house to like slowly decorate and redecorate your own house, which I think is nice. It's something that Tara hasn't touched on a whole lot. But yeah, so now I've skipped ahead in the video. This is what I mean. Like, there's this overworld here that you can run around. There's mail. That is kind of like how you get your like new missions or quests, I guess. You run around the town, you can find people, you can pick up the trash. And like there's a bunch of like just little optional things of running around the town that will, like I said, like might help you unlock some extra items for your house or something. And then it's also just like where you choose your branching points in the game, where it's just like, well, actually, I'm going to go help Luna in her duplex, or I'm going to go do the convenience store today, actually, or the fish place or whatever. It's not just linear like unpacking, where it's not just like level after level. You can kind of choose where you want to go. And like I said, it seems like a lot of stuff is optional, which is cool. There are characters in this overworld that you can talk to, that kind of help story beats. Like I think there's an investigator that you come across every once in a while who's just kind of like, why are you here again? Like, you know, I'm investigating this case. And like, yeah, just like looking at this, the Whisper Daily mysterious numbers have appeared at the museum, and like, I don't know, it's nice, it's fun. Yeah. I like the look of it. I like that it's not just place stuff. I saw on place stuff down.
The video that shows like the secret chamber with like the Illuminati symbol and then like all this horror stuff.
Yeah. So there are like if I skip ahead, can I see anything?
42 minutes, give or take.
That's a dog. And the Mona Lisa. Oh yeah, so like you can see like there's something on the wall that they're clicking. It's got some like rune stuff coming off it. You click it a bunch, you solve it, and then like you're like, oh, I think maybe you go in there now. Yeah, the secret chamber. So there are some weird, interesting stuff, and you can play with lighting. I don't know how often that is like part of the puzzle, I guess, of like you can turn in rooms, you can like turn lights on and off or have this light on, this light off. But there are some sort of like puzzly stuff to it every like here and there also. Like there was one level where it talks about I think it was in like a retirement home, and like this guy, what he used to do is he had a basket and he would put some little food on the basket and roll it down his window, and there were cats outside that he would feed, and he would bang on the like the drain pipe outside his window to alert the cats, and they would come out and, you know, get the food. And so like there's like little puzzles around like learning that and then you doing it, putting it together, you know.
I think like the concept here is so strong. I'm so curious about like the execution and I guess like what's going on with that. The other thing that when I looked up, not on Switch yet, not on Switch 2 yet.
Nope.
I played Unpacking on Switch. It just felt like a good handheld game.
Mm-hmm.
And this kind of also feels like a good handheld game. And I don't have one of them fancy Steam decks. But like, yeah, I mean, it's got a lot. You're saying a lot of neat things, a lot of things I like. I'll add it to my very important wish list.
Yeah, your very limited wish list.
Yeah, my definitely useful to ever parse through wish list.
Yeah, it's interesting because with this game compared to Unpacking, there is a lot that's very similar. And maybe it's potential that some of this is just lost because I have played Unpacking, which was such a unique thing where in Unpacking, while you're like organizing stuff and snapping stuff into place, it just feels satisfying to be like, yes, this like clicked in here so good and it sounded nice and it felt good and it looks good. And like, I don't quite get that with this game. Again, potentially because it's just like, I played Unpacking, so like I got through all that already. But like there was one level where Tara started it and she was just like, I can't do this anymore. Can you please do it? And it, rather than like it feeling like satisfying and being like, ooh, yeah, this goes here. Perfect. It was more like, how the heck am I supposed to do this? Where does this all fit? I don't think it can all fit. Turning stuff this way, turning stuff that way, reorganizing shelves. And then eventually, like, in that specific level, it got to the point where I was just like, there's just too much stuff. I've done all the objectives. This is what you're getting. These chips are staying on this counter. I don't know where else to put them. Sorry. So
I think
go ahead. No, you.
I was gonna say, I think the other thing, because you're talking about how like Unpacking was like super satisfying, is that I do think that Unpacking having a more limited scope and not having like as long of a game, there was that extra like polish in what they did have. They like, I feel like they really took their care to like really make sure it was satisfying at all times. Whereas I imagine that like as a game like this, again, haven't played it, don't fully know, you want to have some form of like being more difficult, having more things, having like give you more as time goes on that maybe could feel detrimental to like the calming or satisfaction of like the Unpacking experience.
I think you're exactly right. Yeah, I think Unpacking, like its whole thing was that unpacking and organizing stuff. So yeah, they just had more time to focus on it feeling satisfying. Where this game, there is more stuff around the outside that the team had to work on and that you get to explore. So that like snappiness or like satisfaction of like perfectly curated rooms isn't quite the same. But I like it. Let me see, like how much does this game cost on Steam?
$15 whole.
Yeah, so it's not, not a lot. It's good.
USD.
Whispers of the House. Yeah, $15. Overwhelmingly positive reviews.
What kind of whispers does a house make?
Spooky? I don't know.
All right, take it to the bridge.
But yeah, and like you do meet characters throughout the story that interact with you and that interact with each other and like intertwining stories and whatnot. So it's nice. It is fairly light. With the exception of maybe the abduction room or something like that.
Other than this really, really incredibly dark thing, it's pretty light.
It's pretty light. This is my window capture. Oh, it disappeared. God dang it! It's a GIF. I was going to show you the room, like the convenience store. This convenience store, right here. I think a lot of times also you'll go into a house and organize it and work on it and do the level, and then you'll revisit levels later with, you know, either like new things or missing things, or you know, something has happened there, whatever. So like some levels you do revisit, but like, yeah, this convenience store level, like you have the little robot guy that you're like taking stuff out of the box to put. Stuff just kept coming out of the box, man. It was just like another soda, another soda, another soda, another soda, a bottle, chips, and it's just, there was a lot of stuff. It was a lot. But yeah, a lot of it is, which is nice, is like decorate it and play it your way. There were definitely situations in rooms where Tara started and was decorating a certain way, and then she was like, you know, I've done a few levels already. I'm kind of like winding down right now. You can take over. And I would take over and see the room completely differently. Which I think that's maybe one difference that I like. Then unpacking.
Yeah, that gives you some like agency and like makes you feel like you like are like have a distinct like way to solve like the puzzle.
Yeah, because in unpacking, because again, Tara and I both play that. In unpacking, there are situations in rooms where it just feels like, oh, the stuffed animals fit so perfectly right here, and it's kind of like everyone sees that. Where and
that goes like back to it, this having a more wider scope and a more like longer, like on both ends, right?
Yeah,
like there's more customization, more work you put into that as well.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know, I recommend it. It's nice. $15 just on Steam right now, I believe. It's weird because Lucid talked about the GD studio. What else have they made? They made a game called Noobs Want to Live.
Yeah, I looked a little bit at that and I was like,
Noobs in Greedland. Luck be a landlord plus curtain call. Where are they from? I can't tell. I don't know what
the characters are.
Yeah.
I looked for a little bit and then I'm not confident enough in my ability to tell a lot of the characters apart.
It's just the part that I was gonna comment is there is another studio that I know who call themselves the Good Studio, but it's GD, like the Good Studio. I can't remember the guy who like founded it. But he used to be like way back in the day. He was like a StarCraft 2 like personality.
Oh yeah.
He wasn't a player or anything like that. He was just like a host for like events and stuff like that. Too Good. I think that was his name actually, is Too Good. And he made the studio. They made Diabolical. They're making another game, Diabolical Rogue. So yeah, I do remember now when I saw that it was made by the Good Studio, in like the loading screen or whatever. I remember being like, that's not the same Good Studio, right? And it's not. Different. Maybe this is Good Studio, whereas the old one that I was thinking of making Diabolical is the Good Studio.
Very important according to LLCs.
Also, maybe one is good and the other's GD. I don't know. Yeah, that's that's Whisper of the House.
Whisper of the House.
It's a cool game. I think people would like it. So, you know,
I definitely want to give it a try, but it's also like we're in like the season of everything right now.
Yeah, it's tough because it's another thing like you mentioned to Dinnermancer playing Hollow Knight 1. Like, yeah, definitely play Hollow Knight 1, but like if your wallet doesn't agree with it, then it doesn't agree with it. And I think like this is $15, which is cheaper, and the way I play it is, and like my wife's been playing it, is in like smaller increments, like in between stuff. But like, if it's you can spend $15 on this or $20 on Silksong right now. It's like $7.49 right now, I think.
Probably Hollow Knight 1.
Oh, maybe. Yeah.
Chris.
Mm-hmm.
Vamp. I'll be right back.
Vamp.
Good luck.
What do we got coming up next? Okay. Oh my God. Yeah. So, like this, like I was saying, this has been a really nice game for my wife and I. Like in between other games and during downtime, a lot of things that happen is like it'll probably happen today. Today, usually my wife gets together with her sister and a friend, and they play some games together. And then they're on the East Coast, so they go to bed before us. So like when they finish up playing, Fortnite or Peak or whatever game it is that they play, sometimes it's like GTA. After that's done, my wife will like kind of wind down with this and play a couple levels of this before like finishing up, going to bed and whatnot. So yeah, it's not a game that I don't think I can sit and grind through. One of the things that I've heard a lot, Kay said it, and I've heard a lot with like Silksong, is that people can like Kay, you said you played Silksong like the first day for like 12 hours.
Yeah.
I can't imagine doing that with this game. Personally, I can't imagine sitting down for 12 hours with this.
Some games are meant to be binged. I mean, like how not meant to be, but allow you to binge them better than others for sure.
Yeah.
Especially like how they deal with mechanics.
Yeah, I can't with this one, which is fine. Yeah. So next up, we got
challenge run.
Yeah, we got your topic here, challenge runs, and I've got a great graphic for this one because Nuzlocks are a big part of a big popular challenge run category right now. And I think another thing people might, I don't know, I don't think it fits in this, but like Kaizos. Kaizos are kind of similar, where it's typically like a Kaizo Mario game is like Mario and Mario mechanics, just like very advanced and precise, and it just makes it very difficult. But it's like its own game, just using Mario's like power-ups and abilities and mechanics. Whereas a lot of these like challenge runs, like a Nuzlocke, is you're playing the base game, but with some sort of house rules or limitations, right?
To be really nerdy for a second, like Kaizo technically just means like mod or like rearrangement or whatever. And it's so interesting to me how like Kaizo Mario became very popular, just very hard Mario ROM hacks. But now we use Kaizo just to mean really hard.
Yeah.
So like, as I'll also like love to talk about is Ironmon and Kaizo Ironmon specifically. But yeah, challenge runs. Let's talk about them.
Go for it.
Yeah. Well, I really brought this topic because I find myself like, there's the me that plays games and there's the me that watches other people play games. And I was kind of realizing that like most of the video game content I like to watch are these challenge runs, or things that maybe I feel are a little out of my wheelhouse, but I love watching them. And I've dabbled, I've tried. Past streams in my life, I've done Ironmon and whatnot, which I'll get into. And I just like, I think it's so awesome and like that you can take a base game for the most part. Something like Kaizo Ironmon or Ironmon might use something like a randomizer or whatnot. But like you could take like no hit runs. You see people do like people on Twitch do like no hit runs of like Resident Evil. They're like perfectly executing the movement around zombies and whatnot, and that stuff is also crazy. And it's just like taking the base concept and everything that you can just out of box play and finding alternative routes, as I mentioned earlier, to enjoy the game, to create added content from the game, is awesome. It's very popular with streamers for a reason, because it's like, I know people love Pokemon. I can do Pokemon, but more insane, and people like will enjoy the rise and falls of emotions with it, right?
One of the things that I think draws me to watching challenge runs is the same thing that makes me enjoy like esports, where it's watching these experts like play something at such a high level, and just like really showing off their knowledge of that game. And it goes for like most kind of challenge runs, whether it be like a Nuzlocke, a no hit, or whatever. It's these people who are like mastering that craft, just like esports or sports, like, and although typically challenge runs are like a solo thing, there's still that like it still feels like a competition, whereas like you're just competing against the game instead of another person. But I think that feeling crosses both boundaries for me with challenge runs or like an esports competition, which is why I like them.
I like really like kind of to parse through the topic is that like Pokemon is very, very popular as a challenge run game. And it's because like it's probably a mixture of like nostalgia and also just like the variability of Pokemon as a game itself, right? Like every challenge run for Pokemon outside of like speedrunning and like that kind of stuff, which is more like rigid in like what you do, there's so much variance of like a narrative that can form. Like Nuzlocke, like I showed you the clip yesterday. I was watching a streamer do his Nuzlocke. She was like, all right, my first Pokemon of the route, so Geodude tries to catch it. Geodude self-destructs, blows him up, loses a Pokemon. Like that is something that can happen to you, and it's something that could just never happen to somebody else. Right? It's so much fun having that kind of chaos. And what I think I love watching streamers that do it is they build the narrative around the run. A Nuzlocke might be all about your Blitzel, and he's like your hero of the story, and that's so cool. You start building like in a similar vein with like Twitch Plays Pokemon, which is not a challenge run, but like the chat is building a narrative around these mons, and that is such a fun thing to do. As you get to Ironmon and you get to like the one Pokemon runs and like the no grind like that kind of stuff, like you start to build an attachment to this dude, and you're like, God damn it, is this Aerodactyl gonna win the Elite Four? Like it's gotten so close. And then for it all to like just fall right before the finish line, you sit there and you're like, I've been watching this one Pokemon for like 12 hours of content, right? Like I was really, and now he's dead. And now he's gone, and then we have to like memorialize him and try again. Like I did one Ironmon run, and like I did several. I won once, I should say, when back in like 2022, I think, when I was streaming again. 23. Pokemon Ironmon, and I guess I should say Pokemon Kaizo Ironmon, are challenge runs in which you have one Pokemon. There's typically a lot of rules. You can't grind. There's like a BST limit depending on like you can't have a legendary because like they just have better stats with some exceptions and stuff like that. Can't use items outside of battle. Can't leave a dungeon when you start it. There's a whole bunch of other like semi-arbitrary rules about like what moves you can't know, and what abilities like you can't have. And it's just like, can you get that Pokemon to the end of the game without explosion happening, without counter happening, mirror coat, Perish Song is
Fissure.
a big one because if Fissure, any Oko move. Perish Song is also evil because like if the first Pokemon's able to faster than you uses Perish Song and they have more than 4 Pokemon in their stable, you just can't win. You just sit there and you're like, oh, this is it. And that's such an exciting gamble, is like this long investment you have in a Pokemon. And then whereas like the other challenge runs, which are all like super skill heavy, watching no hit runs of Resident Evil is also a blast, like in any of the tank control games, because everybody who's played a tank control game knows they're not fun to goddamn control. Like they're cool, sure, I love all these games, but at the same time, like getting that perfect like dodging of zombies or like any of the boss fights is just like I'm in awe, because you know where that zombie's going to lunge from, you know where that dog is going to jump out of, like, and where its route's going to take. It's so cool that video games have become so like big that we've made them harder and made them more enjoyable in some ways.
One of my maybe the favorite like streamer event I've ever seen was a Pokemon Nuzlocke challenge. I mentioned it to you when it happened, actually, right after. So I forget.
Yeah, I know.
I forget the name of it, but it was put on by Point Crow and P-Chal. And they got a bunch of popular streamers, Ludwig, Valkyrie, and then paired them with coaches who were top Nuzlocke streamers. And the event was so good because it, like you were saying, the chat builds a narrative, right, for these games, and just like so much extra narrative with something like this, because it is, streamers compete in their own Nuzlockes with a coach, and the coach isn't allowed to participate during battles. So the player has to like, be coached and make decisions on their own, so that the coach isn't just playing for them. But the player has to play a Nuzlocke, and they have to beat the Nuzlocke. So you already have that narrative of like trying to go through and beat the Nuzlocke. But then the team that you use to win the Nuzlocke then went on to an in-person VGC style tournament. So
cool.
So it was cool because Valkyrie, one of the streamers, she was one of the first people that completed the Nuzlocke and had their team. And like as they're going through this Nuzlocke, they're not just thinking about like their team composition for beating the Elite Four, right? They also have to consider the VGC part of it. So they're going through and they're putting their team together for the Elite Four, thinking like, okay, well, I have this coverage and that coverage, and this is the engine I'm running. It's, this type of team. And Valkyrie went through and won, and immediately set this bar for everyone else, where her team was just stacked. And there was a point where they mentioned where Wolfie wasn't a part of the event, but he was like brought in, like just people were talking to him about it, and I think because him and Peachal are friends, and Peachal showed Wolfie Valkyrie's team, and Wolfie was just like, how do you even put that together in a Nuzlocke? That's ridiculous. So then it set up now this narrative, like other teams see kind of like the top of like a team composition. So now, for example, Ludwig was going through his Nuzlocke, and got to a point where he got to the Elite Four, looked at his team, and it was like, I can't beat Valkyrie with this. This team can't compete. So I'm going to start over. And there was narrative around that because it was basically just like he was running out of time. And then, after that stage, then you just go into the narrative for like the actual competition stuff. And it was very, very cool. And the whole like reason was because it was just like watching people do these challenge runs. And I've talked enough about that event, but it's very good. I don't think I've ever, I've done like semi-challenge runs. And we kind of touched on it a little bit earlier. Like, for instance, like Peak has some badges where it's just like, hey, get to the top, but only eat non-packaged foods, or don't place any equipment. And I've done, like, most of my challenge runs, I guess, are typically based off of like challenges that the game has set up for me. Like in Dead Space, I beat Dead Space with just the basic weapon.
And it was so funny. I did that too, and I don't think I did it on purpose.
My first playthrough of Dead Space was not.
This is the best gun that's ever been made in any video game ever.
So I played through Dead Space back to back because I played through. No, I played through 3 times, maybe. No, maybe it was just 2. I can't remember. But I played through and basically just used the normal gun the whole time. And then it was like, I guess I'll try some of these other guns. Tried them, and it was like, I just like the regular gun, and just kept playing through. But I didn't get the achievement because I bought and upgraded like another gun. And then when I realized like that was an achievement, I was like, oh, easy. I'll just go back and do the same thing again, but just won't buy that gun this time. So yeah, I did try for a little while. I was making a Nuzlocke type thing. I spent some time just like messing around with
Nuzlocke, roguelike, rogue. I just don't know how to speak anymore.
A roguelike, a roguelite Nuzlocke in a RPG Maker for Pokemon. That was cool.
It was a lot of fun. I had fun playing that. It's just like other I guess the other like Pokemon one that we did mention that one of my friends keeps yapping at me and telling me he wants to try one with me is a Soul Link, which is another special. It's just like a Nuzlocke but with more pain. Have you done a Soul Link, or do you know of?
I know of Soul Links, yeah. Yeah.
When it's just like if my Route 1 Pokemon dies and your Route 1 Pokemon dies.
Yeah.
That's also a little crazy.
There's also like, I think it's Soul Links, like Soul Link randomizer stuff where I'm playing Banjo-Kazooie and you're playing like Super Metroid.
Yeah, and Archipelagos.
Yeah. And you're getting upgrades for my game and I'm getting upgrades for your game, and stuff like that is also it's very neat. Yeah.
We could find a way to make an Archipelago stream, Chris.
Potentially.
Yeah. What I do like about this, like Archipelagos and randomizers, like in general, which are another type of, I guess, challenge runs that I find super interesting is, again, it's because it comes down to like you have to know everything about the game. Like a Majora's Mask randomizer requires you to know and remember that there are like checks with the bean sprouts or whatever. Like, I mean, Ocarina too. Like, you need to remember that because that might be where the pivotal upgrade is.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's just another way to keep enjoying something that you love.
And
so cool.
I also think, I guess, Nuzlocke are, to me, feel very accessible because I know how to play Pokemon. And other types of challenge runs are much more intimidating for me because of that, like I get in my head where I'm like, I don't know this game well enough to even attempt a randomizer for Ocarina of Time. Which just, again, for myself, just makes it even more like impressive to watch somebody do that. But yeah, a lot of like different types of challenge runs are me just thinking like, I really love this game. I'm not good at it. I'm not that good at it. That's scary. In the end, like, who cares? Like, what's like, I don't win the challenge, then that's about it. But
yeah, like you still have played it.
Yeah. But
and I guess like the other, like a lot of like the randomizer stuff and even like Kaizo Ironmon requires like, a little bit of modding, a little bit of like emulator tomfoolery.
And there have now been enough time, and the communities have grown enough where like you can find that stuff fairly easy to get into if you want to.
Yeah, there's a whole Discord for like each and every type of run you ever could imagine. I think the only, like, the biggest challenge run, again, this is one of those like the video game like created ones, like where they actually they put it in the game and they like, here you can do it, is that the Kingdom Hearts 1 like level 1 critical mode stuff did that. I would never suggest that to anyone ever in their goddamn lives. It's really awful. It's just a bad experience. All the amount of the stuff you have to do to make that work. And people do it way easier, and they breeze through it, and I look at them and go, I don't know why you didn't give up, and how you're able to just like, everything about the game. It's just wonder. It's so cool. It's so cool to watch people play things well.
Yeah.
That's why I love GDQ.
Yeah.
And that's like, it's like, whoa, you can do that? I never even thought that your hands could move that fast.
Speed runs, challenge runs, and esports all fit in that same spot for me, where it's just like, yeah, watching people who are really good at the game do really good, cool stuff. Yeah. What other are there any other types of like challenge runs that are popular?
I mean, we talked a little bit about randomizers, like, and those can mean anything from like a Pokemon randomizer is like random Pokemon show up anywhere, and that makes the game sometimes even easier. But like, Paper Mario randomizer is like, the badges are randomized and your partners are randomized, and that's kind of cool, but requires you to kind of know how to break the game a little. There's a version of 64 that I love, Super Mario 64. I can't just say 64.
No.
I could be talking about Glover. Or Gex. But there's a challenge run for Mario 64 that I absolutely adore, which is every time you get a star, it randomizes you to another world, and the only way to get out of that world is to get a star there. You kind of ping pong around. But there's a box in every world that has the demon, which they call it, which is just like a 1-up mushroom but purple, and if it touches you, you die. And so it makes a lot of like the state. Also, if you take any damage, you die. So fall damage, you die. The fire, you get hit by an enemy. Everything but the damage you take from like swimming, because that would obviously make the game unplayable.
Yeah.
And so it's like he tried it, and it's in while that was becoming a thing, it was just a big like community event, whereas everyone was like, what can be the most amount of stars you can get in a life? And I remember it being a big deal that somebody got to like 20. They're like, we got 20 stars without dying, taking a hit. And then people were like, I don't know if that's like how much farther can we go? That's that's always sick.
It's just pushing the limits, you know?
Pushing the limits. As humans are meant to be.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, all right. Nuzlocke and stuff. Moving on from challenge runs. We said it during the pre-show. We love talking about likes and
genres,
clones and genres here. I've thought about this.
It doesn't bring me any mental anguish at all.
I've thought about this a little bit, this topic, and it's game like / clones you want, but I also wanted to kind of expand on it. Mm-hmm. Because as I was thinking of things, a lot of times it's not necessarily that they don't happen, but it's just like they don't happen well. They're not done well. And then also there are some games where I think it's just like it's hard to make a clone of it because it only works for a specific set of characters or IPs or developers or whatever. So I was going to kind of expand in that, and I'll kind of kick that off in that direction. But first, this idea came about because Chronos came out. Whatever Chronos, then I forget its subtitle. And that game is very much Dead Space.
Chronos: The New Dawn.
The New Dawn. That game is very much Dead Space in my view, at least. It's Dead Space in like its tone and its gameplay. Like I was watching somebody play, and just the way that they go from aiming down at these like zombie like creatures to pulling the game and then like punching, I was just like, that animation just looks straight Dead Space. So it had me thinking, like, what are other games that I just want to see somebody just like copy? First one that always comes to my mind, and I feel like we've said it before, is Valkyria Chronicles.
It makes me mad that Valkyria Chronicles is trapped to where there's only like 2 playable games in America. One is, 3 if you count the PSP one.
Yeah.
Sure, and then one is the third game is trapped in Japan. Valkyria Chronicles rules so gosh darn much.
It does. It's just such a nice change from an XCOM in its gameplay. And then like outside of that, like that's mostly what I'm focused on with Valkyria Chronicles is that like the way the tactics unfolds with its top down like war map view, which then you choose the unit you're going to control, you go down into third person, and it's like slightly real time ish where you're like in real time moving the character, and in real time there are characters with views that could start shooting at you, whatever. It's this mix of real time and turn-based that I don't see. I tried looking up games like this, and I know of Codename Steam.
Yeah.
Which like I've never played.
3DS launch game.
But it's a 3DS game, and people made that comparison to this instantly. They were like, it's like Valkyria Chronicles, but like something didn't hit with people with that. And then other than that, what I was looking up, the names I kept finding, I would watch gameplay from it and be like, it's not. This isn't like Valkyria Chronicles. Like nothing is like hitting the marks like this. And then, you know, Valkyria Chronicles specifically has like the I don't know how to describe it. It's almost like visual novel or like Fire Emblem-esque, like out of combat, like relationship stuff, story stuff. You
get to know like certain characters more.
Yeah,
like it has. It also has that sketch, like kind of watercolor, that sketch cell shading that I think is the best way to animate cell shading. Period.
Yeah,
I just love it so much.
Yes, I do too. Like seeing like the sketch marks on stuff for like the shading and whatnot. It's very pretty. But yeah, for something where I'm like, I want a game like this, Valkyria Chronicles is instantly the first thing that pops up in my mind.
Yeah. When you put it in the doc, I was like, hey, that's the one the first thing I would have put too.
Yeah.
Because we're both sickos. And by sickos, I mean rational human beings who like this video game.
Yeah, that's a term that I would say for sickos also. That's how I would define it. And us. But yeah, so this was the obvious first one for me. After Valkyria Chronicles, I kept thinking more. And so like the next thing that I have on this docket is I have 3 games I put in one section here. And it's because these are 3 games where I'm like, I don't know if you can do clones of these, because I think it's so special just for these people who are making it. And those games are the Mario Sports games, Katamari, and Metal Gear. I specifically Metal Gear, I just can't envision a game coming out and people being like, oh my god, this is just like Metal Gear, and it being good. And like,
I gotta find this.
Honestly, the closest thing that I can think of is just Death Stranding.
Yeah.
And it's the same guy. It's the same guy.
It's the same guy, just ripping off himself.
Yeah.
Let me find this one indie game I find that's going to be nowhere near as good as Metal Gear. But I saw it and I was like, oh, hey, I know exactly what you're trying to do.
Yeah.
Which was make like anime waifu Metal Gear. And I went and I looked at it. I watched it with friend Alex, and we were like, all right.
Yeah,
it knows what it's trying to be, but it's not gonna have the same quality, because like, I mean, then we have to really deep dive into like, is Metal Gear rules because of like the almost movie like presentation and the stealth mechanics,
but then
and the crazy plot, right?
Yeah, the absurdity of it also. And then like, yeah, Katamari was one I put in here because it's just like, maybe it could, maybe it could be done. But again, part of it with Katamari is just like its absurdity. And like somebody else making a Katamari and trying to include that same amount of absurdity just might not work.
Yeah, and I think even a lot of people who like Katamari, like me, would say that the Katamari games that weren't made by Takahashi after the first one, after he left, / got pushed out, all that kind of stuff. Didn't even have necessarily the same kind of like quality to it. I think they're pretty good games. I have a lot of hope for the new Katamari, but it is interesting. Like, what would a Katamari like be? Oh, I'm breaking up there.
Oh, really? That's weird. Are we both? Oh, Golden Rose?
No.
Oh, I thought maybe you sounded fine for me. That's weird. It's possible. It's possible it's the stream. Because you sound okay for me. You might have just been talking.
Oh yeah, I turned the stream audio on and
I don't know. Keep going.
Yapping.
Keep yapping and chat. Let us know what's going wrong, if anything else is going wrong.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it was because I was trying to look up that game at the same time.
Maybe
the Metal Gear clone. What was I gonna say? Yeah, it's like Katamari without Takahashi. Has been kind of a mixed bag, and it's interesting that like a developer is so synonymous with like a type of game, and there's like, oh, we don't know if we can like make another one like it. I'd be interested to see what a Katamari clone would be. Like, how do we even go about that? Like, you sponge man.
One of like the closest things that I could like think of for a game that is Katamari like is almost also at the same time like on the opposite spectrum of what a Katamari like is, and it's like Donut County.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's the closest thing I can think of, but it's like the opposite, where you're a hole and you're just sucking up something in the hole. So yeah, it's hard to imagine what like somebody else's take on a Katamari game would be.
Mm-hmm. But at the same time, like I think like you and I would both be like, yeah, I want more games like Katamari. But
yeah,
it's like, where is that? How do we get that?
Yeah. And then the other game in that like cell that I put was Mario Sports. And Mario Sports is another one where it's just like, there's sports games out there. Everybody golf, whatever just came out.
Hot shots, everybody's golf.
And like, I guess that's the closest that you'll see to Mario Golf. And like, there's history between that actually with like the company who made the original Mario Golf and who made Hot Shots being like the same and whatnot. But like Strikers and like the Mario Sluggers, Mario Tennis, like those sort of like arcadey sports games are solid, but like they're Mario, and like I think that's the biggest part of it. And if like, and you know, it goes along like very close with like Smash Brothers, where like Smash Brothers and like the Mario sports games have the characters. They have the well-known IP characters that everybody loves, and it's in these new situations where like, who else can do that? Like, how does Microsoft put together like an ensemble cast that is going to play that's going to play baseball together?
So my questions to you would be like, first I would say like, yeah, like you have that Sega soccer game that I talk about far too much for how much I like it for the GameCube. And for Mario Tennis, your closest analog is Nintendo themselves with like Wii Sports, right? And even that's like not necessarily one for one, but there's some overlap there. As like a more cartoony take on a sport. And I guess it'd be like, would you consider something like an NFL Blitz to be like that arcadey sports game? I know Mario didn't have I don't think he had a football game ever, right? I would have played that.
Yeah.
So, but like something's in that vein, like, yeah, right? Like, is there like, would that count as something? Would an EA Sports making another Blitz but for soccer or whatever, a FIFA Blitz, fill that same gap to you?
Maybe. And that's why I was saying like, I think part of it with like the Mario Sports thing, that just like makes it like the Mario sports game isn't necessarily the sports part of it, because there are other sports games. It is the Mario part of it. And then I guess just the power-ups and whatnot you put in there, because like we talked about it the other week when we were talking about like genres that we've kind of grown out of, and sports was one of them. But I said, it's like, hey, you give me NFL Blitz, I'll play Blitz. Yeah. I'm not gonna. I don't care about Madden, but I'll play Blitz. And that would go for a baseball game, strikers game, where like I'm way more likely to play your silly party sports game rather than your sports simulation. But I guess it's hard for me. It's hard for me to say like if somebody came out with a like what was Strikers? Was Strikers 5 characters? Like 5-on-5? Either way, if somebody came out with like a like 5-on-5 arena soccer game that had the same like perspective as Strikers and included, you know, the checks and like the items, like, is that enough for me to look at and be like, this is a Strikers, like a Mario sports
clone? Or does it need to have like these characters with cultural cachet, right?
Right.
Like, does Pac-Man need to be here?
Yeah. And I guess I can't say.
And I
so
a soccer game.
That might be a tough one for me to like justify getting a like or a clone of a Mario sports game, because like we have sports games.
What I was gonna say though, you know how Backyard Football 99 just came out, and like all these backyard sports games are coming out. Maybe rumors in the air that we're going to get a new backyard sports game for the first time in 2.5 decades or whatever. Would that fill a similar itch enough?
Potentially,
like a backyard soccer.
Potentially, that's a good like comparison to make, and a good one to throw in there. Where like, yeah, potentially a backyard baseball, brand new backyard baseball could fill like a backyard or a Mario Sluggers like hole. It could. I don't know. It's been forever since I played backyard baseball. I don't know if that game's good or if it was just good because I was a kid.
Yeah, 100%. I'm right there with you. Is there one? Let me.
Also, yeah, Lucid. I want to bring up. He mentioned Super Dodgeball Advance. I loved Super Dodgeball Advance. I was a big fan of that. When I was trying to put together my little scramble thing, I wanted to involve dodgeball. But like the dodgeball game on like the NES just wasn't this. It just didn't hit like the Dodgeball Advance. And then there were other things with it where I was just like, somebody could easily game the system in this dodgeball game by just holding onto the ball and waiting for the next game to flip to it. But yes, Super Dodgeball Advance is fantastic.
Chris, check the Park Bench chat channel.
Oh, the chat channel in the Discord?
Yeah, in the Discord, yeah. Because like that's mascots. Those are mascots.
Okay. Let me get
cachets. Those are sports.
Let me get this up. Bring it on screen.
That's 2024. That's not that long ago.
This is Looney Tunes Wacky World of Sports. Basketball, soccer, golf, and tennis.
It's $50.
Yeah, but think about how many sports you're getting in this.
You are getting 4 sports. I can't imagine how. They have power-ups too, Chris. I'm just saying. Here's your Mario Sports Club.
You're basically you're really only spending like what, $12.20 per sport, if you think about it.
Right.
I'm not joking when I say that like this doesn't look too bad.
I'm right there with you a little bit.
I'm the only thing that scares me is that it's published by Game Mill. But this, I'm intrigued. Part of my intrigue is because there was a Tiny Toons sports game on like the Genesis and Super Nintendo that I was like super, super into. And it had bowling, basketball, soccer, I think one other thing in it, but I can't remember. But it had those were the three hits that I played. And the basketball and the soccer were awesome. So like just looking at the gameplay for this as like a Mario sports clone or like this comes close.
Yeah, and like it, like literally, I was looking because I'm like, I know there was a basketball one like forever ago, and I was like, is there another one? And I found this, and I'm like, listen, again, like it has characters of cultural cachet, it has power ups, it has local co-op, it has like a silly aesthetic like the Mario sports games. I was like, this is checking all these boxes.
It's not bad.
You can play a Skimmin' Sam.
You can. Only 23 reviews, but mostly positive.
Yeah, same company though that made this game made like Nickelodeon Kart Racers.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
and that's like they're like, I don't know.
That's what I'm saying.
Those ones all reduced to like $5 though. This is still at $50. Does that mean it's quality, or does that mean that they're just?
And I'm looking at the reviews real quick, and although they are mostly positive, right at the top I see some negative stuff, and immediately like a couple of them are like, Game Mill got me, or like bland game from bland developer. So yeah, like immediately people calling out like exactly what we're saying there. We're just like, the people making this game. And that's not to say that people making this game are bad at their jobs. Because I don't know what sort of, circumstances these people are put on under. What sort of exactly? What sort of like contracts?
Do you think Game Mill understands how ironic it is that they turn out games like a mill and they're all mid?
Yeah, I feel like the name was not thought through on how it's perceived, where it's just like, oh yeah, we're the Game Mill because we make games, and then it's just like you are surely just churning out slop. Hey, but Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl 2 is only $5 right now. It's $4.99. DreamWorks All-Star Kart Racing, $7.99.
You could be Shrek.
Oh, I'm sorry. I misspoke. I misspoke. The Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl 2 game is $9.99, and the season pass is only $4.99 right now. So you can get everything for $15.
Yes.
Yeah, man, they did Big Buck Hunter. What?
That's a game that has quality if you're a certain sector person, I think.
Yeah.
Who goes to bars and occasionally drinks and plays a game of Big Buck Hunter on the arcade machine.
Hell yeah. That's a good arcade experience, Big Buck Hunter.
It's right up there with the trackball golf game.
Sure, Golden Tee. Both of those games had like nationwide tournament scenes, which is fun.
I gotta look up who's in the top percentile of Golden Tee players. I just need to know what they look like.
I watched a TV show. I can't remember exactly what it was, but I watched a TV show years and years ago, and it was like following Golden Tee pro players.
Crazy.
Yeah.
in my brain, I don't know why you're like, I was like, it's somebody's like, you remember MTV Made?
Yeah.
Dating ourselves, I think, because I don't think it's been alive for many years. But I imagine somebody being like, I want you to make me into the best Golden Tee player.
Hold on, I'm trying to see. It's a good one. Oh God, I'm trying to see real quickly. I can't. I'm not looking for it enough. I can't find it. But I was trying to see if I could quickly Google like what show I was talking about or what it was. But yeah, so you would put a Gauntlet Dark Legacy on this list.
Yeah, I put Gauntlet,
Dark
Legacy, or Gauntlet 64 are really the ones that I'm talking about here, because Gauntlet Arcade slightly different, but it has the same spirit. I feel as though that we don't have a number like of arcadey co-op experiences anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And something like Gauntlet Dark Legacy is a lot of like a little mindless hack and slash, but also like power-ups galore. You level up, like there's a lot of more mechanics into it that I feel like I don't know, like are Musou games in the same vein? Maybe, but it doesn't feel right. It doesn't have that like almost silliness, right? Like Gauntlet Dark Legacy has you turn into a chicken with one of the power-ups.
Yeah,
and you have like the famous voice like Green Warrior needs food badly. Best line, best narrator of all time, maybe.
That's one of not like a stem. I don't want to go that far, but Terra on occasion will just like say, like, I can't remember the exact line because I didn't play, but she will just say like Green Ranger's hungry or something like that. Green Ranger needs food.
Yeah. It's just like for my birthday last year, or maybe 2 years ago. 2 years ago. Whenever I spent a week with like Dario and friends, like I brought my GameCube and I bought a copy of Dark Legacy, and then we just like ran through the game together, and I was like, man, this game rules. I forgot how much I hate the it system that I think you can turn off, but we didn't, where it's just like anytime someone it's like Green Warrior is it, Blue Valkyrie is it, and it just does that forever.
Yeah,
but I was so thirsty for this experience of playing a game like Dark Legacy again that I was like, we got to do it. And there's nothing I've seen that scratches this itch of like co-op hack and slash silly, like dopamine rush also, like Lucid said. I don't know.
There was a Gauntlet game that came out years ago. I think it's called Gauntlet Legends.
Yeah, for the Xbox One / PS4, like arcade like type of basically thing.
This is not what I'm thinking of, actually. Not Gauntlet Legends. Hold on. Newest
Gauntlet Legends is the 64 one, and also on on arcade.
Not that. Hold on. Let me look at list of Gauntlet series right now.
Yeah, and don't be confused with actually looking up. Gauntlet.
I think it's just. Is it just Gauntlet 2014?
Yeah, that one's bad.
Yeah, so that's what I was gonna say. Is like I think that's like the most recent like Gauntlet, right? That's like the most recent new one. Yeah, it is this, and I think I might have owned it or own it and have played it a little bit, but yeah, my wife is like super into Gauntlet. It's like a good childhood memory of hers, and you know she would talk about Gauntlet. I think Dark Legacy. And I remember one day I was like, oh, wait a second. I've Gauntlet on the computer. We can play together. And she was like, what? Like, why have you been holding this from me? Kind of thing. And I was like, yeah, they came out with this game. Gauntlet, whatever, like, we can play it together. And like, I remember like opening up and just showing it to her. I don't think she's ever played it. I remember just her like looking at it and being like, no. She's like, that's not Gauntlet. Because yeah, I think didn't they basically just make it like a twin stick shooter?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it really didn't work out.
Yeah. Unfortunate. I want to touch on this a little bit more on what you said about Gauntlet, I think in the next segment. But the last bit I put on here for games that I would like to see more clones or likes of is something like Sonic Spinball or Yoku's Island Express. Both games I love, and are, you know, kind of, they're similar where they both have pinball mechanics. Spinball is more pinball with light adventure, and then Yoku's Island Express is more adventure with some.
Yeah, Yoku's more of like a Metroidvania that happens also
Yoku,
pinball, right?
Exactly. Yoku is like a Metroidvania that you have traversal options with pinball mechanics, whereas Spinball is more like a pinball experience with like some light platforming. Oh, I missed Lucid's thing. You said you played Alpha Ranger. I don't remember. Yeah. I think Barbarian. But I've played very little Gauntlet. But yeah, so more pinball experiences like that. I forgot about it until just talking about it now, and I think you know of these games. There's two of them by the same person. I think one of them is called like Demon something.
Yeah, the Demon Pinball game, right? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
No?
Yeah, Demon's Tilt.
Yeah, Demon Tilt. That game rules.
And then they made a sequel. Demon's Tilt sequel is Xenotilt. Hostile pinball action. And this isn't exactly what I'm looking for with like comparing Yoku or Spinball. But yeah, I don't know, these are just also good pinball games. Xenotilt and Demon's Tilt. But yeah, like this is more arcade-y.
Yeah, then like with like there's no real like exploration.
Like,
yeah, all like around.
Yeah,
like in theory.
Yeah. But yeah, I do remember there was a time where like pinball games were like kind of like, I don't want to say popping off, but like you had
a little cool again. Yeah, a little cool again.
You had like when I was a kid or younger, you had like Spinball, but then after that there was also Pokemon Pinball and a Mario Pinball. They made two Pokemon Pinballs, actually. But yeah, I don't know. And this is the second time we've mentioned Pokemon Pinball in this show, because I briefly mentioned it in the I think I mentioned it in the Nintendo Direct spin-off thing.
Yeah, I just like, I wonder with a lot of these genre melds like this, like you have to, I think you really bet on like one half of the genre like having a little bit nostalgia or like a reoccurrence. Because like one of the things I just wonder about is how prevalent is pinball today in people's zeitgeist. Like every time I go to an arcade, the people playing pinball are old or are our age or over. It feels like. And so I, outside of like, you know, just being in love with pinball and wanting to make a pinball Metroidvania, like what's the, if I'm putting on my markability cap, which I hate, I'm like, what, is it worth it?
Yeah.
to do that again?
I guess, you know, pinball in, person at this point is, like you said, like if you go out to a place and they have pinball machines, it's usually somebody who's like our age or older, probably older. But there are, like, I do see a lot of places. I see them here, and I saw them in New Hampshire even. That will have like pinball tournaments.
Yeah, Fun Spot still does that up in,
and those seem fairly popular.
And they still get the new pinball machines. Like, there's that that have like way too crazy mechanics now.
Yeah, there's a pretty cool arcade near us called Ground Control, who has some like a bunch of older pinball machines, but then also like some brand new like there's like a Godzilla pinball machine. There's a brand new Ninja Turtles one, like and they've got like crazy LCD displays and like all kinds of. It's fun. I'm bad at pinball also, I realized.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too.
Nice.
Skill I don't really have. I'm serviceable in the pinball minigame in Sonic Adventure, which we'll get to.
pinball video games are a different thing. Like I'm pretty decent at a pinball video game or pinball mini game and something, but real life pinball, I'm poor. Yeah.
Lastly, I just want to touch on Lucid in the chat said what kind of like that they would like, and they basically said they want a David Cage type game without David Cage. Well, they didn't say without David Cage. I added that.
You added that.
Fuck David Cage.
Yeah.
I'm putting words in Lucid's mouth that I shouldn't necessarily do. But the Quantum Dream type of video game, the heavy narrative, like the Trip Become Human, Heavy Rain, Indigo Prophecy. I will not shut up about Indigo Prophecy / Fahrenheit, whatever you want to call it, because that game is neat. And then, did they also do Beyond Two Souls, which is the really bad one? Yeah, they also did that one.
Maybe.
But anyway, that kind of narrative, like choice-driven games, are really cool. And I agree with you. Like, I would love for other studios to do that. I mean, never forget, still not canceled, still announced and not talked about is Star Wars. Maybe it's called Exodus, which is the Quantum Dreams Star Wars game they're supposed to make in the same style of Become Human.
I don't remember this, but that's interesting.
Yeah, no, it was forever. They announced it. It was like, Star Wars Quantum Dream. Star Wars Eclipse. It's not Exodus. It's New Z.
I do think that is
announced in 2021.
Oh wow, it's been a while. That's a good. I like that idea. That type of game in the Star Wars universe. Sounds cool. You can do some probably pretty neat things where you can tell a story and not have to worry about as much action or gameplay mechanics and what makes sense in that universe. So like, yeah, I don't know. Who is it? These guys making it? Did you say the Detroit?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, maybe
Cage himself.
Yeah. Maybe then. Maybe not.
I will say Lucid, I know it will take a while for chat to catch up to where we are when we're talking, but like I'm curious whether like the Telltale style of games, if that fills a similar itch or not, or if it's just like the production quality, I guess, that Quantic Dream has, which tends to be way more than the shoestring budget that Telltale had. That like helps put it over the edge for you with like the narrative, like reactivity.
Yeah, because
like you still get those. You still get like every once in a while, like Life is Strange had a sequel game. That was Life is Strange, the Bloom and Rage games.
Also, Dispatch.
Man, that demo is so good. I can't believe that game's not out right now. I want to play it so much.
Yeah, Dispatch. So if for anyone out there who wants a Telltale game, but like a good engine, Dispatch looks like it's gonna be the game for you.
Yeah, so maybe that would fill the void a little bit, Lucid. That's not out yet. I think the demo might still be playable. I'm not 100% sure though.
I'll check. I'll check real quick if the demo's up, because Yeah, yeah, it is. You can download the demo still.
Cool. I would suggest trying that out, Lucid.
Yeah. I do think there is something different with like the way a Telltale game progresses and tells its story compared to like a Detroit or a Heavy Rain. So I don't know what it is, but Telltale games typically I mean I guess you could probably even say that they are. Telltale games are like point and click adventure games.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
And Detroit and Heavy Rain and those games feel like a slight departure from like so much of it is similar, but it just doesn't feel like point and click. I don't know why. They're like new age point and click. I don't know.
To further muddy this, my care about Star Wars Eclipse is that NetEase acquired Quantic Dream in 2022, but they still said Star Wars Eclipse is happening, and there were leaks for the game in August. So I think it is probably still happening. That being said, if a David Cage created NetEase funded game is adding a lot of quantifiers.
This game's going to be a horror show.
Says it's maybe open world, which is crazy. Anyway, the one random thing about Dispatch I just want to bring up is that Critical Role, Travis Willingham and a bunch of the other voice actors in Critical Role had such a good time working on Dispatch that they hired that company to make a Critical Role game.
Ad Hoc Studio.
Yeah, which is really interesting.
That is interesting.
I love Critical Role.
That's cool. Yeah, Dispatch. I don't know. I'm gonna just put it in chat real quick.
You want to go back to the past now?
Samurai Jack.
What? You can fly? No. Jump good.
Yeah.
Y2K.
Sure. Y2K. Yeah. So today, why isn't this working? Happy birthday to the Dreamcast in America.
Happy birthday, vamp for 30 seconds.
It's today, September 9th, 2025 is the 26th birthday, anniversary, whatever, of the Dreamcast's United States launch.
I'm back.
Yeah, so 26 years ago today, Sega said, you can get the Dreamcast now. And yeah, so we'll, you've got your controller with your VMU.
Crazy gosh darn decision of every time. We're going to talk a lot about the Dreamcast. We're going to celebrate it a little bit. I'm going to celebrate it, and Trish is going to join me in celebrating it. So I guess the statement "we're going to celebrate it" is correct.
Yeah, I'll kick it off. It's only a minute and a half, but I'll have the this goddamn whatever this commercial, the Apocalypse commercial.
Remember when commercials used to be good? I hate sounding so old and being nostalgic for marketing, but my god, I love this commercial.
But yeah, this commercial is such it everything about it is it's like the epitome of like late 90s Sega and just how they thought of themselves. Like everything.
Like, the Matrix just came out. We're cyberpunk. We're cool. We're the hippest thing on the planet.
Yeah. Everything about, because, when they changed from like their like Sega intro from like the Sega to like the screaming Sega or the eyeball, like all of that culminates with this and just like the weird action and the way it cuts and like the camera angles and the lighting and like it's nonsense. And it is funny to me to see parts of this commercial happen just before Y2K. With like, I don't know, I think they like lose control of a plane in this and like fall from the sky.
Yeah. And you're like, you couldn't make this in 2 years.
It's true.
2 years from now, you couldn't make this.
No, so that's well, what did I have? That's it.
Randy Moss is there.
So that's that was that commercial, and that attitude for like a long time resonated with Sega. Maybe unfortunately, but also like I'm kind of happy about it. I never owned a Dreamcast. I've played Dreamcast. I've never owned it. And I think a part of it is because of its short lifespan, and also I had Nintendo, so I was just a Nintendo guy at that point. Started off as a Sega guy, and then bridges were burned with like the Saturn and whatnot. I was just like, I don't care about any of this.
Introducing Sega Saturn.
Yeah. But yeah, so you have a Dreamcast.
Yeah, I have a Dreamcast. I had a Dreamcast. I guess like the context here is like growing up, I would always get the consoles like a little later, like when they were cheaper. Like my family would be like, "Oh, you love video games."
Yeah.
I would get somebody would hand me a console.
Yeah.
Like a year or two, a couple years after it was made. Dreamcast though slightly different. My best friend had one growing up, and I would go to his house. We'd play it all the time, and then he started to grow out of video games, and he's like, "You just have this."
Cool.
So then I was just gifted the Dreamcast. It was super nice of him. I'm sure his family probably questioned that decision, but whatever. And a lot of early memories I have are playing this god awful controller that I love so much. And playing all these like the Sega games, because I had a Genesis. Again, I got it later. So like I like my Sonic games. I liked it, like, and that's kind of really all I played my Genesis for, if I really think about it, like that. Like a hockey game. But when Dreamcast came out, obviously I'm a little older. I'm a little bit more aware of reality. And I thought this thing was the coolest system. Like, especially at this time, like we were dealing with like, you know, PlayStation was near the end, Nintendo 64 was near the end. There's crossover here and whatnot. But I'm like, can you see what they're doing with like with like these graphics? It's crazy. And then my friend would like tell me about like, yeah, you can actually also like hook it up online and play with other people. I'm like, what? You can do what?
That's potentially the craziest part about it. Is a game console in 1999, and just thinking about that and playing online games with other people, like that's crazy for a console.
And games had like downloadable content for it.
Yeah,
like Sonic Adventure had like the Christmas thing update, and it just made the game all Christmas themed. Phantasy Star also did. A couple other ones did too. Like that's just cool. That's weird.
It 100%, and I think it's like one of like the, like anyone who talks about the Dreamcast or has any reverence for it will say is that like so much of the Dreamcast was just ahead of its time. One of the things that I also love about the Dreamcast though is it did have parts of it that were ahead of its time with like its online functionality, and it's like, you know, improved graphics and whatnot, but how closely a Dreamcast like simulated like the arcade experience. a lot of like the biggest arcade games in the time were best playable on the Dreamcast.
Yeah.
And it kind of makes sense. I think they still are, and they were then. Sega was like a big arcade like company. Like they had a lot of hardware in the arcade scene.
Yeah, like until like obviously Sonic, they like didn't really have a staying power in like the console market.
Yeah.
It was just like arcade ports and whatnot.
I think some of the most like popular like arcade cabinets, like the just like the cabinet itself, not necessarily the games in them, but like I think they like the arcade design of the cabinet itself. One of the most popular ones is like a Sega design. So yeah, they're close. You know, their closeness of bringing like the Dreamcast to the arcade, I think, is like one of the things that is super cool to me, and that's where I wanted to bring up again, like Gauntlet Dark Legacy is like, this was that type of console. This was that type of like local co-op arcadey like fun. We both made a quick little top 5 games.
We should have hit it in it from each other, but we didn't.
We didn't. But one of the things that is on both of ours is Crazy Taxi.
It is the best game.
Which
it's not even my number one, but it's like every time I hear Crazy Taxi, I'm like, that's the best game of all time. Not my number one on the list, so I don't know how that makes any sense, but oh man.
But that's such a perfect example of like the arcade game just coming to your home. Because if I go to an arcade and they have Crazy Taxi, I'm hopping in. I'm gonna play Crazy Taxi at the arcade. If you're an arcade and you have Crazy Taxi, I'm gonna spend my money on it at least one time.
Yeah. My quarters. I'm gonna hear the songs. I'm gonna drive around. I'm gonna try to get an S rank and feel like I'm cool. That's gonna happen.
So let's go. Other than Crazy Taxi, which we both have on ours, what else is on your list?
Yeah, I'll start from like the I guess like the bottom. I guess I don't know. Where not a Dreamcast made game, but an excellent port, Quake 3. I played so many hours of multiplayer local co-op, no, like not local like deathmatch on Quake 3 with this silly ass controller where you moved up with Y, right with B, left X, and down like back with A, and then you had to use this for the actually like move your gun. And it was like such a bizarre scheme that today I would be like, no, we can't do that. But it made sense as I got used to it.
I watched Dinnermancer play a Turok. I forget what it's called, but there was a Turok like arena game that had similar controls to that. And it was I think it was on Nintendo 64 though, where it was like you used the C buttons to move around, and yeah, the control stick was aiming. And I'd never played a game like that. So like now knowing how games are made and controlled with 2 sticks, yeah, you're like you can't do that now, but
no,
it does sound like it makes so much sense.
A modern person would put another analog stick right here.
Yeah. But it does, you're right. It does for that type of game. It's the closest you could get. It makes sense. Like whoever thought of that was, thinking outside the box a little bit.
Yeah. And like, I guess like to go further, the arcade narrative of this is like a lot of my enjoyment with like the Deathmatch Quake 3 stuff is that the game really just lets you customize like everything about. And we would like have matches where we'd make it so everyone go 1,000 times faster or whatever it was. So you're zooming around the map, doing my golden age of shooter stuff. like finding the weapons around the map and doing the like arena shooter. There we go. And you make it so gravity basically doesn't exist. Now you're hip hopping around, moving a billion miles an hour, and I'm like, yeah, I'm just playing a silly ass shooter game that's like is goofy at this point. Like you could play it more realistic if you wanted, but like no.
Yeah, stuff like that for me is what it like. It became more popular with in Halo, and it's a those are exactly the reasons why people love Halo so much and have played so much Halo and played for so long, is because of those extra like modifiers that you can throw in. And Quake 3 was doing it first.
Man.
One of the games on my list that I'll throw in, very different, Choo Choo Rocket. It's just a goofy puzzle game. But in like this is something that like almost always will catch me or has caught me, is like competitive aspects of games. And yeah, Choo Choo Rocket was just like a hectic multiplayer, I guess, puzzle game. And it had just like, yeah, just a silly style to it. And like, I think there are probably better games on the Dreamcast that I could think of, but I wanted to mention it because when I think of Dreamcast, it's one of the games that I immediately think of as like a Dreamcast game. Have you played Choo Choo Rocket?
I haven't. I've watched you. I think you had a stream where you were messing around with it on
probably
either like trying to put it on like one of the emulator randomizer thing, the BizHawk stuff. And I've seen like after that I looked up more stuff about it. I'm like, I would play this.
Yeah,
I love puzzle games. Just never had it.
It's a cool one. What else you got? I can't look at the list right now because it's underneath my full screened video and I don't want to mess it up.
On my list, I got Power Stone 2. Power Stone 2 to me as a youngin was like, this is what fighting games should be like. Like I was like, I had Smash 64. And I'm like, oh, this is fun. And I'm like, this is good. I like this. It's a platformer shooter. It's a fighting game that isn't Mortal Kombat, which I also liked at the time. But I was like, when Power Stone came out and it was like that isometric kind of party fighting game. It was still a game where like I felt like I was doing, it was like Smash meets, like I truly don't know. I don't know any other isometric fighting game top of my head. I just can't think of anyone other than this. And it was so unique to me. And they had like a story mode that had like some co-op stuff going on too, which was, as a kid, was like I always wanted to play co-op games for the most part. So that was super awesome. It's a blast. I played so much Power Stone 2, and now it's on one of the more recent like Capcom collections.
Yeah, one of the collections. They both are 1 and 2.
And yeah, I don't have to play that.
Yeah, Power Stone I didn't put on my list just because I have not touched it very much. Unfortunately, I would like to. But I just hadn't played it a lot. But it is one of the games, again, like Choo Choo Rocket. Like when I think of Dreamcast, I think of Power Stone. The only other games I can think of like it are like, I think there's like some Godzilla games.
Oh, like Destroy All Monsters? Yeah. Yeah, okay.
That's like the closest kind of thing that I can think of.
And then the other one. Wait, is Destroy All Monsters the Godzilla one, or is there another one? There's 2 kaiju games I feel like for the PS2.
Destroy All Monsters is a Godzilla game.
Yeah. See.
Dinnermancer says in chat, Sega still loves Ooh La La. And from what I remember from a show earlier, they love Ooh La La so much. Aren't they like potentially making a movie?
Our first show when we were talking about the Golden Age, yeah, they're making a Space Channel 5 movie, which I think is the craziest thing of all time.
It is crazy. I'm all for it. It's not on my list of top games. But
I have it on my like little honor mention thing right under it.
I think that's where it belongs personally, is like an honor mention thing because of its just style. And like I watched a little bit of Space Channel earlier today to just like acquaint myself with it. And Ooh La La has got some sass. The way she moves and stuff, and the way she talks and holds herself, I'm like, damn, she is so sassy. She fits in perfectly during any time. You can throw Ooh La La in any like generation of gaming, and people will love her. Sonic Adventure 2, that's on my list. It's on the screen also right now. One of the games, however, I played the heck out of it, just not on the Dreamcast. Played it on the GameCube.
That's why I kind of put Sonic Adventure 1 on here and 2, because like 1 was the one I played on the Dreamcast a lot. 2 I played more on the GameCube, but yeah.
From what I learned from this history video that we're watching now, parts of the Dreamcast's failures. One was that when it launched in Japan, it only launched with like 4 games. And Sonic Adventure, which was supposed to be a launch title, ended up getting delayed for a couple months. So it like didn't like jump out the gate like it was supposed to with Sonic Adventure. And then also with Sonic Adventure 2, they started making it, and it was like praised for its like improvements it made in like graphics and controls and whatnot over the first one. But it came too late. And it wasn't enough to like save the Dreamcast, basically. I don't remember whose turn it is to say, but another game.
We're both talking about Sonic, right?
Oh yeah, it was Sonic Adventure, yeah.
Yeah, and Sonic Adventure, I'll just kind of group them both up because I had 1 on here also. Like, I love 1 a lot for what it is. It's a really fun, like, proof of concept thing, right? Like, it's closer to like almost like a Wii Sports, I think, than it is a Sonic game. Obviously, the Sonic levels, Tails levels, and Amy levels. So like 2/3 of the game are classic Sonic. Knuckles levels are like closer to what we now consider Knuckles levels, but back then. But it is really just like, oh, look at this tech. Look what we can do. Look at like how like 3D animation we can make it with their silly little mouths, not syncing up to anything. The overworld, the interconnected world. A lot of my nostalgia for Dreamcast does come down to the aesthetic that Sonic Adventure has, with like that like we figured out how to make the ocean and water look cool. So now everything in the game like is like has that vibiness to it.
Yeah.
That like you're on a summer vacation, and now what we would kind of like associate with a little bit of like a vaporwave aesthetic kind of. I loved it.
It's a very Sega vibe.
And replaying Sonic Adventure semi-recently, I was like, oh man, this game still rules. I would never 100% that game. I thought about it because I'm like, maybe I'll try to get Metal Sonic, and then I'm like, no, I'll defend Big the Cat's levels, but I will not defend trying to get all emblems on Big the Cat's levels.
Yeah.
And then 2, obviously, we talk about 2, Chao Garden. They got the Chao Garden.
I think the gameplay itself is a little tighter and cleaner and feels better also. But then 2's edition of the Chao Garden, which is one of the like the more popular uses for the VMU. Which was like a cool thing that they tried to different degrees. It's something that would I guess it's in some aspects
the concept of the VMU is like it did take off in different forms, I feel like, right? Like different parts of it.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of games used it as a second screen. Like I believe in like I think it was NFL 2K, you could select your plays from the VMU on your controller. That way, the person sitting next to you couldn't see what plays you were picking.
You see that second screen tech kind of go forward with like either the DS or the like the Wii U kind of thing going on. The thing I always talked about was how the VMU would yap at you. It would make noises at you, and then when we had the Wiimote would do that, and I was like, oh, this is just like they took that concept of having like your thing, and now even the PS5 controller, PS4 maybe too, they also have that ingrained speaker where they're yapping at you all the time. And I'm choosing to only associate this with the VMU and saying again, Sega ahead of their time.
Well, so also, which puts Sega ahead of its time, speaking on like you mentioned the Wiimote taking like that the speaker. The Dreamcast had two different popular motion controlled like peripherals where it had a fishing rod. Yeah, the fishing rod was motion controlled.
It's somewhere. I don't want to go find it though.
And then also the Samba de Amigo maracas were motion controlled. And yeah, those are two things that like took off in new forms on the Wii. So yeah, Sega, the ideas were there for the Dreamcast. They just, part of it was unfortunate timing, execution, but it was all there. Another game on my list, which just popped up here, Phantasy Star Online.
It's on both of our lists, yeah. There's no game like it, man.
No, and like it's funny because I played it on GameCube, and I played it for like legitimately probably like a couple of years. I was playing Phantasy Star Online, and I was playing Phantasy Star Online offline on my GameCube until like I was almost done with it, where I got like a network adapter and played like a little bit online. But that's like to have that experience with Phantasy Star Online and then to think back and been like, man, it took me that long to get online with this game. And anyone who had a Dreamcast was probably able to play it online day one. That's something that's kind of crazy, is that like the Dreamcast, I could have been playing it online back then.
You could have gotten your big keyboard controller.
So Sega ahead of its time, made a great game. It just was like the world wasn't ready. The world wasn't ready yet. But yeah, I played Phantasy Star Online forever. I played that game by myself, played it, or with my cousin, just locally.
It's one of like, again, this about me, and I'll tell the chat and everyone, is that like one of my friends who's moved away, and like we only see each other at most once a year, if not once every other year. Anytime we meet up again, we set a day where like our night is just us playing Phantasy Star Online co-op. We just we go buy food, we bring it home, we don't talk to anyone, we just play Phantasy Star. You got to join us one year, I remember, for a little while. We played it one night. The game just still holds up like so incredibly well. And again, the Phantasy Star Online 2 exists, and it's an MMO, and it doesn't feel quite the same. And Phantasy Star Universe for the Xbox came out, and that still didn't feel right either. Like, I should have, honestly, when we're talking about likes and clones, I should have put Phantasy Star Online there also.
Sure.
But I don't really know what that even looks like anymore, because maybe that's like a thing like closer to Diablo now.
Yeah. I think the last thing, so let's see, let's look at our list. We both had Song Adventure, both had PSO, both had Crazy Taxi. You had Power Stone and Quake.
Yeah.
Last thing,
MVC2.
Yeah, that's the last thing for me for like my top games is Marvel vs. Capcom 2. Although it's another game that I didn't play on Dreamcast. I do have a copy of it. It's above me. I'm not going to stand up and get it. But I have it for Xbox, the original Xbox, and yeah, I think
I have my Dreamcast.
Marvel vs. Capcom 2 isn't the game that got me into like fighting games. But it was the first one that like, so like a lot of my fighting game experience was in arcades at the time, and Marvel vs. Capcom 2 was one of the first ones that I was just like, I want to own this at home. And like, it's because of that, it's the one that I had played the most. Because before that it was Tekken, 2 and 3. I don't remember exactly which one I played more of, but I played an indoor baseball league in like Little League, and I made sure we got there early because they had an arcade and they had Tekken in it. And then even before that, the Roller Palace, which was this like roller rink near me, people would have birthday parties there, and I would go, and there was a Marvel, forget which one it was, Clash of Superheroes or something like that. I think it was the first Marvel vs. Capcom. Yeah. I don't remember. They had that, and I loved that. But yeah, Marvel vs. Capcom 2, for whatever reason, is the one that like stuck the most, and it's a Dreamcast game.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's because you turn on the game and you're like, wow, I can be Mega Man and Morgan Aslan. You're a teenager, you're young, you're looking at, and you're like, whoa, hey.
Yeah, no, loved putting together the team of Morgan and was it Felicity?
Yep.
Right? Yeah. Loved what
Darkstalkers.
Loved, yeah, please. Can we please get a new Darkstalkers? My God.
What the heck?
Give it to ArcSys. I don't give it to, like, whatever. Just like make a
new Darkstalkers. Put it on PC so it can be no,
actually, Capcom. Just you lost the Marvel War. ArcSys got Marvel Tokon. People are gonna love it. You obviously can't make a Marvel vs. Capcom game, so make a Darkstalkers. There is an incredible crowd for Darkstalkers. Some might call them Gooners. That's only a small portion of that fan base, though. Yeah. Anyway, moving on. I think the only other game that we've listed on here
is, yeah, you wrote it and then I added a bunch of exclamation points.
Yeah, I wrote on our document here, I wrote Seaman. Just the name. And now looking back at the document, there are multiple exclamation points placed after it. There was a part of me that I was like, oh, do I talk about Seaman and the clones? And that might fall into the category of like a Katamari, where it's just like, I don't think this game can be remade. I don't think you can copy this game. It's a once in a lifetime game. I don't think the story of Seaman can not be replicated.
It like deserves to be, and it's like in the special category of like Seaman and Mr. Mosquito.
Yeah.
As like flash in the pans of just like truly wild out there things.
I don't know why I put those games together also, but I also do. Yeah, Seaman is a game that everyone should experience at some point. Because yeah, it's just so wild and unique and silly. Yeah, Seaman's nuts, and it's an honorable mention for Dreamcast. And the last thing you have on here is this beautiful.
Oh my god, my white whale.
Oh my gosh, wait.
This is my Moby Dick.
Yeah, I can't get a good.
Yeah, you have to like probably zoom manually in the.
Yeah, but it's this. Let's try this. Let's see. It's not working. Hold on. I have open image in new tab. Boop. And then we zoom way in. It's this Hello Kitty Dreamcast.
Like, let me tell you how I collect a lot of old video games. It's just a thing I do, a thing I slow down on recently, especially when I like, like money is more harder to come by and whatnot. But this is always, I've never been a person who's gotten like multiple edition of consoles. It's just like I have a console to play the game. I like the games are way more interesting to me than like what a console looks like. But this goddamn translucent pink Hello Kitty Dreamcast is everything I've ever cared about aesthetic. And there's like the boy one too with that's like blue.
It's blue, yeah.
I still like that one a lot too, just because like I have a lot of nostalgia. I'm sure you do too for like the translucent like
tech,
the Game Boy colors and whatnot with like the see-through, and I think it's so cool. I love this console so gosh darn much, and it's like it's like if you like look at the let's see because eBay, because it's not going to be anywhere else. It's like it's running for like $500, $700, $1,000, and I'm like,
that is something about the Dreamcast too. Is you can find a Dreamcast for fairly cheap, but there are a couple like special edition ones. Like there's like a black one that is like more reminiscent of like it almost looks like a Genesis kinda. That fetches for like a little bit more of a premium, and then this translucent pink Hello Kitty. It's beautiful. Something I forgot again ahead of its time. The Dreamcast, the controller is Hall effect sticks, so no drift. It's got no joystick drift on the Dreamcast.
This feels as good as it did back then.
It's crazy. It's so crazy that the Dreamcast standard Hall effect sticks. It's beautiful. Beautiful console. Beautiful time to be alive.
According to The Matrix, the peak of human civilization, 1999. The 1990s. No.
Yeah. Yeah. Although 2004 was like one of the best gaming years. I think it was 2004. I think specifically, I saw a thing recently. 2004, I think November games. 2004 in November. That 1 month, we got the orange box. So also like Half-Life 2. Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater. Halo 2. Counter-Strike Source. World of Warcraft. And just an insane run.
Absolutely.
And then a week before November, the last week of October was GTA San Andreas. So like
packed.
So like I don't know what the Matrix has to say about 2004.
No, it wasn't out yet.
But
I put in our doc for topic ideas as favorite year in gaming. I'd probably have to spend more time thinking about that concept.
I would too, but
I think that'd be neat.
2004 is up there for me. Looking at the games that were on that list. That does it, I think.
Yeah, I don't got anything else.
Happy birthday, Dreamcast.
Happy birthday, Dreamcast. Go, like, it's the Sega. Wait, Sega. I have to open Steam again. Did they get rid of that? I think they got rid of it, right? There was that like Dreamcast favorite kind of like it had Jet Set, Space Channel, Sonic, and something else.
They might, yeah, I don't know, because they probably had that from like the 25th anniversary.
Yeah.
Got it. But there are like you can buy, yeah, Shenmue.
Mm-hmm. We didn't mention Shenmue, way ahead of its time as a video game. Mm-hmm. One of the most ahead of its time video games of all time.
Mm-hmm.
It just happened to be a genre I don't play very often.
Yeah. Did you know? I learned this in that video that I just had on in a history video. There was a game called Segaga.
Yeah, no, that game's final boss is a Dreamcast.
I'm fairly certain Segaga, yeah, is a game where you're trying to like save the company Sega from like going under.
Yeah, it's a game I've never played, but like I've every time I look at it, I'm like, oh man, this is so meta. This is so fun and neat and cool.
Yeah, I think, yeah, it's an RPG, turn-based RPG. Yeah, like you said, final boss is a Dreamcast, you said?
I think so, yeah. I know it's a Sega console. It might be all of them.
You also fight like Sega employees and like Samba de Amigo and like, yeah, that game's a weird Dreamcast game.
I love it. I love the concept.
Yeah.
And it's a JRPG.
Yeah. So yeah, that does it for our show.
Some people might be mad we didn't mention Ikaruga, but you know.
Sure. There's plenty of Dreamcast games that we did not mention that are very, very good. Specifically, yeah, like the 2K Sport. What?
I didn't mention Mach X to anybody. Mach X is a not great game that I love dearly, which is one of the many games that I loved as a kid that I grew up to find out were made by Atlas, like further cementing like my love of Atlas, I think. But it's a first-person game where you start with a normal like sword, like think real steel. I mean, not red steel, but without like the motion controls, with some movement mechanics. Like it's part rail, but also at times not a rail shooter, like sword game. And then you would beat a boss, you would get their weapon, and that would drastically change how you play the game. And then the game would have different routes. Like you would go to an overworld map and you could go to take one mission, and then you could maybe Mega Man that guy's weapon, but then the other missions would be gone. And so like it was very like weird. Like it was a lot of really cool concepts. It doesn't play very well.
And that's why the Dreamcast failed.
It doesn't work anymore. Yeah, that's that too.
Also, we didn't even talk about just, you know, because we were celebrating, I guess, but like the piracy was not great. Although, again, in that history video, I'll link it in the YouTube video in the descriptions. In that video, that they talk about the piracy and how easy it was for, you know, people to just pirate the games onto like regular CD-ROMs. But because of that, it also opened up a lot of like indie games, like this weird indie scene to take place on the Dreamcast, because it was so cheap to make a game for, because you could just put it on, like you could just burn it onto any regular CD-ROM. And so that video showed a couple where there's like a Space Harrier type game that came out in like 2021 or something like that for the Dreamcast. And then another, like platformer, 2D platformer that came out in like the 2020s at some point. Yeah. Yeah. Last thing that I'll mention, for the show, we talked about the potential Dreamcast, not Dreamcast, the potential Nintendo Direct in the next couple days. There is a showcase tomorrow. There's been a few showcases this month already. There's a couple tomorrow. Showcases we've seen included the state of play for the 007 game. There was also a Monster Training Direct, which happened on Sunday, which was a showcase of I don't even know how many games. It's a lot of games. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. It's like over 50 games on here that are all in some way or form related to like monster training and monster taming. That was
a little crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy.
That's such a also just conceptually real quick feels like, you know, I'm a big fan rising tides lifts all boats and whatnot, but like I feel like you kind of cannibalize your chances if you're one of 50 of a same genre in a direct.
Yeah, you show a monster taming direct, it's like here's 50 monster taming games. At that point you're just being like, I hope I'm the best looking of 50 games.
I'm gonna watch this and I'm gonna let you know what I come out with.
There's a lot. I'll post it in the chat. It's from Gym Leader Ed. The monster taming direct, 1 hour and 17 minutes.
Crazy.
Yeah. But yeah, tomorrow there is a showcase for a company that has not existed in like 20 years or something like that. Acclaim. I don't know if you remember Acclaim. They were around in like the early 2000s. But the logo. Yeah, the logo is, yep. It's what got me too when I saw it. That company is back, kind of almost similar to like THQ, where it's like I don't think this is the Acclaim people anymore.
A group of investors launched a new company using the Acclaim trademark in 2025.
Yes, but they're not making games like they did there. This
Jeff Jarrett. Yeah, this is yes. This is the Jeff Jarrett company.
It's a weird thing.
No, I know about this company.
Yeah. They say that they are going to be publishing other people's indie games. So
I'll actually have to watch this.
So it's a weird thing. It's a yeah, for people who know Acclaim, but yeah, that happens tomorrow. I'm
AEW superstar Jeff Jarrett.
I'm very curious to see the quality of games that they will be able to publish. No, this is a whole. So like Lucy said in chat, they claim bankruptcy. Activision bought them out and are using the name now. This is a whole new. This is not related to Activision.
They sold off like all of their properties, and Activision brought a lot of their properties.
Yeah, Activision.
But now, like, this is just literally a group of rich people that bought the name Acclaim.
Yeah,
basically.
Yeah, these are just people. The logo. People are like, hey, I remember that logo. I want it now. And so yeah, these people just it's solely in name Acclaim. But it is like an established brand, I guess, for old people.
Yeah. It's like they wanted to buy in, right? They're like, yeah, we want to do this. We want to publish video games. We're going to buy an old brand that just like people might see. And so like if you were rich and going to buy your way into like same thing with the Atari logo, right? Nowadays. Like, you find something that at least gets eyes on you to get like a one-up on someone starting from the scratch.
Yeah, there will be like gaming publications who will pick up news about certain games because of the Acclaim logo attached to it now. But yeah, so I'm interested to see like the quality of stuff that they get to publish, especially like with the publishing scene, like the way it looks now with like streamers creating their own publishing companies, you know, like or like YouTubers or whatnot. Like Ludwig's Off-Brand is publishing games that look good, that look solid. Donkey published Animal Well, which is like a really cool game. So it's interesting to me to see this is a name like Donkey, but it's an old name. So I'm wondering.
It is. Gosh darn, I can't stress enough. If you don't know, Jeff Jarrett is a former WWE wrestler. He's very carny in like the wrestling for like which is like in the old ways, very stays in kayfabe. He always carries a guitar around with him. He hits people in the back with a guitar, and he's one of these people who is in this investor group, which is silly to me.
That's weird. Yeah. But yeah, that's the last thing I wanted to bring up to keep an eye out.
Yeah, and like I think my final point is like I will never I'm always going to be very distrustful of like just rich people buying their way into a space, but it's also like video games need money going into it, and publishing needs money going into it. I rarely trust publishers, outside of a few exceptions, and that goes for like any kind of media art field. But like again, if people are putting money into video games and publishing games and helping that kind of stuff like that, that's less layoffs, hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully. Right? More people making games is cool as a career.
And more people getting paid to make games is cool.
Yeah. All right. So that's it. That's the show.
Yeah, the show.
Tune in next week. Same time. Tuesday. Live. 3 p.m. Eastern, noon Pacific time. On my Twitch channel, CParks. Other way.
Yeah, damn it.
Yeah. Yeah, and then I'm gonna be uploading it to this YouTube, CParks TV, for anyone here live that wants to rewatch it or miss parts of it. I'm gonna do a better job from now on of uploading it the day of. And also, I'm going to include a description with a bunch of links for basically whatever we put in this docket, okay, is what I'm going to try to include in the description. So all our links to any gameplay videos that we used, any articles that we looked at, or any like Steam pages for games.
Perfect.
Yeah. All right. So yeah. We're gonna go into the game duel now. For anyone here live, cut the recording, hit the game duel. Yeah. So thanks for being here. Thanks for being in YouTube. Write comments and stuff. I don't know.
It means a lot to us.
Yeah.
Hang out with us.
Yeah. It's fun just talking about video games with my friend on the internet and having other people around to talk with. So yeah, with that, I'm CParks. Goodbye.
I'm Golden Rose K. I yield my time.
Farewell.